The show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards is The Centralist in the category of politics and news. The Centralist is a much different news and political program which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings you just the facts from trusted sources, which will allow you to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on. So go to podcastawards.com to nominate The Centralist in the category of politics and news. And that's podcastawards.com. Take a moment, go and vote, and as Joe would say, come on guys, vote, vote, get out there, vote. What you waiting for? It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. The show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards is The Outer Realm, and that's in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which has millions of listeners each week. They are well known for their laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology, paranormal, cryptozoology, folklore, and anything else that would be deemed outside the realm of normal. Michelle is an international public figure who has spent the last 2 decades working in the international paranormal community, in research and media. Amelia is a remote viewing medium with 10 years of working with missing children, as well as cold and active murder cases. So go to podcastawards.com to nominate The Outer Realm in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. That's podcastawards.com. It's super easy. So just please take a moment and get out and go vote.
Oh, vote. You heard him, woman. Go vote. Get your ass out there and vote, 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 vote. You're going to hear some more of these at the bottom of the hour because there's 5 shows up for awards this year. So you're going to be hearing a lot of this vote, vote, vote. Or like I like to say, get your ass out and vote. Michael Angley's with me tonight. Jay McNick's going to be joining us. We might have somebody else join us later. So we're always looking for good people. You know, if you're brave enough to come sit up here, just one simple request. Just know your politics. Brave. Well, you need to be brave because, you know, we all of us are pretty well versed in our politics, but get out there. Oh, no. Oh, hold on. I can see this going to be one of these kind of nights. Right. How do you move Messenger over? They never that saved it. Never mind.
And we even promised people that we would let them talk if they come on.
Yeah, she can talk if you come on. No, yeah, you can talk. You can talk. Just know your politics. That's all. You don't even have to know your politics. Know your current events. How's that?
Don't challenge us. God damn it.
Well, you can challenge us. You just better know your damn politics.
Eat your liver with onions. Joe's from the South. He's got sauces for everything.
That's right. We got sauces for everything. That is a true statement, people. We do have sauces. Yes, I'm not even going to go there. But we have sauces for everything. Everybody, welcome tonight. I hope everybody's having a good night wherever you are on our big blue planet, especially in our country. I know it's very divisive in our country right now. So, you know, remember, people, we are all still Americans. We are all really friends and family. And, you know, anytime a war starts, we are just one big badass bunch. So just keep that in mind when we're out there hating on each other nonstop every day. And, you know, I've noticed something different. And we're going to talk about this later in the show. It used to be just the 2 sides. Now it's like the 4 sides because the Democratic Party is just like fracturing at it right now. So the progressives are going one way. The liberals are going another way. I don't even know which way Joe Biden's going. We'll get into that later. I mean, he's doing whatever he's doing. And then the Republicans are, I think, kind of shocked and in disarray because, one, they can't believe they got Roe versus Wade. They're just stunned. They're just, and you can see them. They're like, wow, it actually worked. And then they're getting so much influx of money right now. Yeah, I always hear the same thing. Oh, 85% of America are for abortions, but yet the Democrats are getting no money right now, and the Republicans are just getting tons of it. So, maybe they're not right. It's it doesn't really matter for us because I'm a guy. I'm not going to have an abortion. I really am not a big fan of killing 55 million babies. It's never going to be something that makes me feel good. But I'm never going to say that you shouldn't have the right to, you know, protect your body in some shape, form, or fashion. So that's just where you go with that. And it's going to get nasty for a little while because the states are going to get crazy for a little bit. I can already see some of the southern states going, yeah, you can't even cross the state line. No, man. And it's like they're getting a fix or something. It's crazy, but yeah, it'll phase. It'll phase. And then I think Biden's doing some executive order so that you can do cross state lines. He was going to try because Mayor LaToya Jackson down here in Louisiana, New Orleans, she said, let me ask you, Mr. Biden, can you pass a law so Homeland Security can provide federal protection and federal land so we can put abortion clinics on it. And he said, yeah. And all his lawyers said, oh, hell no, buddy. You can't go there. You don't have that power, man. Only Congress got that power. And so he did what he could do. And even that's not going to hold up because it's going to get in front of the Supreme Court and they're going to shoot it down, just like they've been doing everything else. And anybody, let me remind you, hey, we're going to bring Jay Nichols in. Let me remind you, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, we have to announce that Jay is actually. It's important that Jay's here because he's our fetus attorney. For God's sakes, man, we can't have this discussion without the fetus attorney.
Come on,
I was kind of feeling naked for a minute there, man. Discussion. But we got him.
We got something, all right. See, we need a lady in the group. It just looks off center with three guys. I need somebody else taking money. It's like four corners, man. Like when Hollywood Squares.
Put on a dress,
we need that fourth. Well,
do some cross dressing.
No, man. Look, last time I dressed like a trans man, they were women and men following me around for weeks. I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm just too hot like that. Man. It's too much.
Take you out for a drink, get a nice steak. Why not?
No, man. They want more than that, man. It ain't gonna happen.
Well, what do they want, Joe?
That's what I'm saying. What do they want, Michael? What the hell do they want? It's not gonna happen.
Expectations are high, even for McDonald's.
On a weird off topic, because Chris Owens died, and her club's coming up now. Chris Owens is technically the really first famous transvestite. She opened a club called Chris Owens on Bourbon Street. It's been there for shit longer than I've been alive, and she was dancing there every night until she died, or pretty close to it until she died. Or he died, or whatever you want to call him. And so the Saints football owner is going to buy the club now. I can just only imagine what's going to happen there now. It's interesting, but it's been a fixture of Bourbon Street for a long time, and now it's gone. So it's kind of weird. It's a strange place to see go away. But right there, there's a whole block right there. It's like Transvestite Alley or something. It's weird what a quarter does. You got strip clubs, you got those, you got regular clubs. You got gay bars. So the gay bars are on the other end towards Esplanade. They usually have 6 or 7 of them down there. They have good clubs. And then in between that, they got all the dance clubs and all that. It's a strange setup. And then you got the side street clubs, which are always the best. Like the Dungeon and Pat O'Brien's and places like that. They're the best. They're the most fun. They have a good atmosphere about them. When you walk into Pato's the fire courtyard, oh, man, it's like going back 300 years. It's just insane. You could just see those bars have been there for like 150 years, and you could just imagine all these people walking around in these big belly dresses, and it's a crazy place to be. The place is haunted as all hell.
300 years ago, things weren't that great. So I have like a different
imagination.
Man,
no.
Let's go like 100 years. Maybe 100 years.
No, man, 300 years. It was just like it was 100. No, what are you talking about?
Oh man, you gonna say Dungeon 300?
We've been civilized.
Like
been civilized for 1,000 years now.
I want at least to be survivable.
Yeah, it was survivable. What are you talking about? It was quite survivable. Man, they had casinos.
What do you think, Jay? Our fetus
bars
attorney?
Yes, fetus attorney. What do you think?
To be honest, New Orleans sounds like a really wild place. I haven't been there, but Savannah has some similarities to it.
It does.
We have the St. Patrick's Day party, which is like
Savannah's a cool
million
city.
people show up out of all over places of the United States for just a weekend there, and it's like Mardi Gras light. It really is. So
yeah, Savannah's a cool city. Most of the southern cities do something that's interesting, but New Orleans, not New Orleans, Louisiana does a festival a week, 52 weeks a year. It's strange. There's always a festival, and there's a lot of them around the metro area. Down in little bayous, not too far from the city. That way you get some ambiance and you're still close to the city. It's interesting. I mean, actually in New Orleans, you could be in the center of New Orleans and you could actually walk no less than 3 miles and you can see alligators. It's just the way it's set up. And the river runs right next to the city. So when you're sitting
is it
anywhere
like
nice,
a thing? Like you're having fun in a bar, you're getting tanked, and you say, let's go watch some alligators across the road.
No. If you're a tourist,
to avoid, man.
If you're a tourist, they get tanked and they go down to the bayou tours way out in the bayou and you get in the boats.
They're cool, but grabbing you, dragging you in the water for that death roll, it doesn't sound fun to me, man. That's another thing.
It's a big thing, man.
The South
big
is
money
scary.
down here.
Joe, tell people the South is scary, man.
Hey, when you grow up here, it ain't nothing, man. It's just part of life.
The laws are scary.
You go just a couple miles out of the city, and boom, there's alligators sitting on the side of
you could easily get busted.
No. You wouldn't worry. We got brown recluse. We got black widows. Yeah. We got diamondback rattlers. We got water moccasins. You can be worried about stuff. That's the stuff to be worried about. Man. You know? Oh, is she? No, I don't see nobody back there. There's nobody in here but us, baby. She must be in the other one. She got to come one more over. She got to hit enter.
What?
And yeah, she's not in this. She's in the first queue, not the second one. There's an enter button in there somewhere. You hit enter and then it brings you. You know how you get in. You hit enter and then put you there, and then you hit enter and it brings you in here. It's what do you mean? What about abortions?
I sent her the right link.
I can give you another one. Hold on.
It's the link that you sent me.
Yeah, if it's the one I sent you, it's the right link. No, people ain't giving you no link. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? I don't know where the other Michelle is. She's not on tonight. She follows me on Wednesday night, not on Friday nights. Yes, you mean the evil Michelle DeRoche. Sorry, got carried away. She's evil, people. I'm telling you. That's why she's a station manager, because she's evil. But getting back to the real news. So before we get back into abortions, people, and I promise you, we will crisscross it through it tonight. There's not going to be no COVID talk, because we got banned last week on YouTube because we said the word. So on 2 of our stations on YouTube, we got a ban for one on a week, for one for 2 weeks. I was like, you got to be blinking, kidding me, man.
No, she's in the right place, man.
She's not in here with us. You could see her if she was. Mike should be at the bottom down there. Up there. Yep, that's you.
That's me.
You're in twice now.
Oh, I like this.
Oh, yes. Don't worry. I will boot your ass out of here, baby. You'll start having weird-ass double audio and stuff.
Well, I got it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She just, you'd see her in here if she was in here. That's why I'm keeping an eye on her, just to see when she comes in.
Now we can't even see him in here.
Yeah, she's been probed by an extraterrestrial, and now he likes it, so I don't know what to say. There he is.
Here I am.
He's back. It's like musical boxes. But anyway, getting into the news. Yes, we're going to get into the news. I'm sorry. We're just playing around. Calm down. So really, I was surprised about the Japanese leader, because my partner calls me today. He tells me, I thought he said the Taiwan leader got killed. I said, oh, shit, we're going to World War III. And then when I got home, I found out it was a Japanese leader. And I'm thinking, they just walked up to him in a campaign crowd and shot him in the stomach? I mean, he just walked up. I mean, first off, what kind of kiss-ass security is that?
He shot him twice with a musket.
I mean, how you shoot somebody twice with a musket? You got to reload the damn thing.
All right, Joe, I sent you her link so you can go and do it directly, because something's going on here.
Let me. Okay, hold on.
I just sent you her link.
Let me see. Michael messaged me. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be rednecks. They'll move to Mississippi and steal all the good-looking women. I'm sorry. We're carried away at this point. Okay. No, actually, guys, we got quite a few hardcore topics we got to get into tonight.
I know we're sidetracked because trying to get somebody on here.
But anyway, so frankly, I don't even know what to think about the Japanese thing. Where was his security? I mean, what the hell was going on?
It sounds awfully Yakuza.
Yeah, it sounds awfully Yakuza. Yeah. Well, might as well did Harry Carey or something.
Sounds like someone got a grudge match going on. I mean, really, to stand right there and this guy walks up with this archaic device. He made these guns. He had like 40 of them. Well, he was a soldier
again,
at one time.
Where the hell was his security?
41-year-old soldier. Yeah, and he shot him twice. So he got the first shot off, and then a few seconds later, they shot him the second time. So you'd think that someone would have dove on him at that point, you know?
And they said he was non-responsive. They said he was non-responsive. So, yeah, he was dead on arrival at the hospital.
They've got the most strict gun laws in the world.
I know they do.
And here's a guy who was highly motivated, and then he wanted to go do something. And what do? He shot the ex-president. I mean, that's pretty bad, man, you know. And in turn, like you said, in terms of security. But, man.
I just don't understand.
He's not the same kind of security that our former presidents have. You know, he may not have his own detail. He may have to pay for his own security if he even does. So, I don't know.
I imagine
she's waiting for the host. So I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's not. There ain't nobody in here. Is she in the right room or something? Let's make sure we got the right invite. Yeah, that's it. SN772N. Let's see. Let me
she
look
says,
over.
I'm waiting for the host.
Okay, I don't know what that means. You try Messenger and make sure I gave her the right one. Yeah, that's it. That's the right link. Yeah, it's just supposed to. It brings her in. And she's just supposed to hit enter. She's supposed to authorize her cam use and mic use if she.
Yeah.
And then she just enters, and it brings her in. I don't know what's going on there. It's not like it's StreamYard's not real complicated, so I'm not sure what the hell's happening.
Yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah, it's a strange thing in itself. Actually, I was going to tell somebody something earlier, which I love your name, Barbie. I was telling Mike earlier before we came on air. For the Japanese leader who's assassinated, I haven't seen as much press as I would expect. Now, granted, it's not a U.S. leader, but it's a pretty big ally of ours. And I was just kind of curious why we're not, and why. And then I noticed today in 2 states, half the flags weren't at half mast. I'm like, okay, we drop the flags for anything, man. Some crackhead gets shot on the street, we put the flag down. It's gotten ridiculous. So now we ain't going to do it for the Japanese leader. I'm just confused by all of this. And I'm still confused on how somebody with a musket can even get around the president of Japan, the prime minister of Japan. I just don't know how that happens. His whole security should be, what do they do when they throw themselves on a sword? Yeah, that's what y'all guys for security. Yeah, y'all should be doing it. Y'all should get your little sword out. I got some of those. I just can't see them in here. It's y'all can just jump on there and end that, because really, you just let the president get killed. And I haven't really paid that much attention to what's been going on in Japan, because we've just been building up their military, and that's pretty much what's been going on over there, at least for the way we're concerned. But for him to just somebody to walk up and shoot him, and then while this is going on, Boris Johnson decides he's going to step down, but then he doesn't actually step down. So that's another confusing issue that's going on over there. I'm leaving, and they said, well, you just leave and we'll re-elect somebody new. And he said, no, not until you make somebody new. And they're like, yeah, leave. And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, he's still prime minister. You can't really actually make him leave.
Well, yeah, they got to select somebody. There's the whole process, man.
Yeah, and he's not going to leave until then. So, and nobody's given a real good reason why he's actually leaving, other than he said he's tired of dealing with the press.
It's the liberal left who same thing. They do the same thing there that they do here. It's the same. It's a global type of mentality, man. And they just chewing away. I mean, they were going after that guy because he had wine on Christmas Eve. I was watching this on BBC, just nonstop, with all these serious things. And that's what they're talking about. Did he have wine? He lives there. His wife is there. His kids are there. And yeah, whatever, man. But that's people for you.
Well, that's where our country is today. I mean,
that's the UK.
But that's where we are. I mean, we're in the same boat. I mean, hopefully all that'll change. But right now, I'm not feeling it.
We're in like the crazy. It's not the same boat, because the English still have like a direction, and they're doing their thing. We're in like the boat that got taken over by the biggest, craziest morons that are on the planet, and then they don't know how to do it. And then it's like one of those, those campy 1980s movies, like one of those sex boat movies, and all this weird stuff is going on. It's like that. And you wonder where the seriousness is. You would think that the government would be more serious than what they are. But look, you got cackling Kamala, you got Joe, I don't know where I am, Biden, you got, all of them, man, all of them. They're a bunch of hypocrites. And they want I want to say this about liberals, and I don't want to be a liberal hater, and I'm not really, but I will say this. They're the most self-loathing, angry, selfish people I've ever seen in my life and dealt with. I've dealt with liberals for a lot of years. And when you're young, you're liberal, you have all these great open ideas, and you get older, you start getting conservative because you realize what money is worth and what you need to do to survive every day, and all of life isn't like this game, but man, there's a mentality out there. I don't know. It's a mess. It's a mess. And there's no leadership. There's not going to be any for a long time. And all this crap is going to just be politicized until it just rolls right through. And like you said at the beginning of the show, 5.5 million fetuses a year. That's a lot of work for Jay to do, man. That's a lot of paperwork.
Well, there's been
a lot of red tape. Yeah,
man. Well, that's a scary number, man.
No. I think they said there's been 55 million abortions since it's been legalized. Depending on who you look at, what website you look at, it's anywhere from a couple 100,000 a year to a couple of million a year.
I hear 5 to 6 million a year. Any source I look at is what really says.
And that's really high. See, that should already be outlawed. But the liberals are fine with that. They like murdering babies. That's their job. They're baby murders. So people like AOC jump up and down, have
I'm
Last time she looked like she's about to have an orgasm.
Not including a day after pill and anything like that. But it's a horrible political issue now, and it shouldn't be. And people are fighting each other, and you know, then you get people who wear a dress, who go on 4th of July on top of a roof with a rifle and shoot a bunch of innocent people. Yep. You know, because that freak had an axe to grind. You know, and red flags. The laws were in place where he wasn't supposed to get those guns, but he got the guns, didn't he? So,
well, no, because I heard his dad talking today, and this kind of irritated me. And I'm glad you brought it up because they're on his dad for sponsoring him to get his first gun when he was 19.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. Most dads are going to do that. They're going to get their child a gun, especially if they're a boy. So he gets the kid a gun. Well, at 21, you have to reapply for your license because you're 21 now. So he reapplied, and the state troopers gave it to him. Now, there was an incident when he was 19 where he was running around the house. He was going to kill everybody. He didn't have a gun or anything. He was just running around drunk.
Knives. And
he had a bunch of knives.
Confiscated his knives, and then realized that he was a druggie, that he had all these mental issues. And then, you know, he was a clear and present danger. He should, even with his father's help, he shouldn't have been able to get those guns. They said they didn't enforce the law. It's that simple. That simple. So
he actually had his license before that.
The laws are in place. You don't need to vote new laws.
His dad, when he got his first license, he had it before that incident. The second license, when he was 21, was after that incident. And the troopers said, and they went on record again saying it, they did not feel that he was a danger.
Adam
to himself.
The Connecticut shooter, his mother bought him those Bushmasters and let him. I mean, this was a kid who lived in his basement on video games. He was psychologically unstable. He had a lot of problems. I mean, just unbelievable amount of problems. And of course, playing first-person shooter games all of his life, he had a problem with that reality too. Well, what did he do? He took the rifle and went in. And when he tried to buy rifles, they denied him. So it was the parent that facilitated it. But yet, you know, you're going to have this. You're going to have it. Other people in other countries are criticizing us and saying whatever. They don't understand.
But the same aspect down here, I mean, come on. I had my first gun when I was 10. I was hunting when I was 12.
When I was 7.
I mean, it's just, we were out there.
Single shot.
We were out there hunting all the time. We always had guns. We had them and when we became teenagers, we had them in our truck. Think about it. I went to high school. I had a gun rack in my truck with 2 guns, a shotgun and a rifle in the school.
You used to ride alligators to school.
But nobody got shot up, and it wasn't against the school rules. I mean, so we've come a long way since then. Now you can't even have a gun on premises.
Believe it or not, same on Long Island, and you would think that a place like that would because they're it's more city, so especially the Democratic control way more strict. Still, people were able to put a gun rack in the back of their pickup truck, and it wasn't the thing, So. But
what's funny?
Nobody got shot in traffic either. Now people get shot in traffic all the time, man, for whatever reasons.
Road rage.
Yeah.
But what's funny is the gun racks are still legal here. Go ahead.
Well, I think, Joe, you had a good point about the no gun zones with schools. I think it's a bad idea. I always ask people this question: why do you think there's a mass shooting at a school? And almost all of them go, because I don't know, or there's a crazy person. The answer is because there's no guns there. They wouldn't attack if there's someone there with a gun who can shoot back at them. So that you don't see these things in like police stations and places that have a.
Well, down here, I carry my gun a lot. I mean, I really do. It's on my side a lot of times. It's open carry in most of the states where I'm traveling through, and if it's not concealed, it's fine too. And down here, I can carry open or concealed. And being that I served in service in most of the states, I can carry open and concealed. So. It's not it's weird because I'll walk in, I'll be in like in a grocery store or somewhere, I'll have the gun on my side. But I know I can't bring it in the bank. I can't bring it in the casino. I can't bring it into any government building. I know that ahead of time. I mean, that's just freaking
in certain places too. In Georgia,
actually, you can't bring it. No, you can't bring it in liquor stores. You can't bring it in a bar. So you can leave it out. You can have it in your truck or your car, but you can't bring it in a bar. I mean, it's just common sense rules where you need to have common sense, but. And I never understood why that was such a big deal. I never understood why it was a big deal to be 21 to buy a handgun.
What if you're in a bar and you got like a bottle of beer with one of those caps on there you can't take off because you don't have a bottle opener, and you don't have your 357 Magnums out in the car, man? You can just shoot the cap right off there. Pow! You know what I mean?
It doesn't work that way.
Maybe the bars down there, you'd be starting World War III. Maybe guns a blazing, my friend. It would be God. It would be guns ablazing.
I guess it's a Texas thing.
But I know where Mike's going with that. Have you ever seen the Simpsons episode where Homer gets a gun? He uses it for everything, to like open his beer, to like cook his food and start his car. Like
turn the TV on and off.
Right? Yeah, everything. He does it for everything.
So his sisters, he's sitting on his lawn waiting for his gun permit. All these people walking past him, and his sisters he hated and all that, like a sister-in-law. It was funny as hell, man.
What do you mean? What is America going to do about Abby's assassination? As far as I know, it was just some crazy person. I mean, I haven't heard that it was Russia or China anything. So.
Oh no!
Nah, if it turns out to be China, they're an ally. So
Godzilla. You know what? What are you going to do?
If they killed him, if Russia killed him or China killed him, that's an act of war. They're a protectorate. They're not even. They're not even allies. They're a freaking protectorate. That's a whole different story.
They should make strict gun laws in Japan. How's that?
They don't. You know what? A lot of people don't carry guns in Japan
because they got the strictest gun laws in the world.
No, it's not even that. They've never been a big gun country, except when they go to war. But other than that, they've never been a big gun country.
You get sliced up in Japan.
Yeah, that's right. Everybody does have a.
Got that Yakuza, man.
No disrespect. And why don't you do that? Somebody just texted me, it'd be a good idea if you could put just a big circle or a big something around any building that didn't allow guns. But you can't just go say you can't allow a gun because you're like an apartment complex and stuff like that. That's going to defeat the purpose. So the court will overrule that kind of stuff. So it's got to be a clear and present danger for the person carrying a gun or the people around the guy carrying the gun. So alcohol is always a good reason not to have a gun around. It's I just think that some buildings you shouldn't go in banks and you know what? My bank don't care. I've walked into my bank twice accidentally with a gun and they haven't said a word to me because they all know me.
A lot of places here in the U.S. have a liquor store right next to the gun store.
I know.
You know what I mean? But there's a waiting period, man. You know what I mean?
Well, if you're in Tennessee, it's the gun store, the liquor store, and the strip joint.
You can't just walk in and buy one. It's a misconception. Even at gun shows, there's waiting periods now.
The only way you get
you can always buy illegal guns. I mean, obviously, Chicago and New York, places with strictest gun laws, have all these illegal guns. And there's shootings every day, murders every day, and they don't do it. You see that guy in the bodega? It wasn't a gun, but he defended himself. Because this ex-con, who was a violent ex-con, who was trying to beat the crap out of him, the bodega guy pulls out a knife and stabs the dude and kills him. And then they arrested him, put him in Rikers, and people were like they're outraged because that DA lets the criminals go. And anybody who fights back, he punishes, man. It's very transparent. DA, his name is Bragg. He needs to go. And then you get the mayor, he is so castrated, useless. Mayor Adams, when he says, the justice system is messed up, you are the mayor. You're the mayor, for God's sakes. And you have a direct line to the governor, for God's sakes. You can do something about it. If anybody can do anything about it, it's those people. But not just some idiot DA who wants to let criminals go. But yeah, you know what? The bastard got stabbed and killed, and he's not going to victimize anyone anymore. And it's too bad that the guy had to do it. He's not. He doesn't have a criminal record. He's not anything. He was just scared for his life because in the city, people are getting killed by these very same thugs. So protect yourself. What do you think, Jay, our fetus attorney?
No, I totally agree. When I was in Georgia, I got a concealed carry license, and it took a little bit of time. I had to give my fingerprints to the state police department, and I had to give it, I think, also to the county that I lived in. And it took like a week and I get the license, but on the license, on the back of it, it actually said, if I see anyone committing a felony, I'm obligated by holding this concealed carry card to intervene. So to take my gun out and go shoot the guy if he's committing a felony.
That makes you feel empowered, man. Did they pay you for that?
It empowers you a little bit, but then like Joe says, there's places you can't take. You can't bring it to the bar or any place.
Is there a
baseball stadium or a movie theater?
What if you're in a bar and you see some suspicious stuff going on, or if you're at a baseball game and you don't like the game, you want to shoot the ball out of the air? What about that?
Well, I actually had I was living in Savannah and working at a rifle and pistol range at the time, so I used to carry the guys that ran the shooting range. They wanted me to have a gun on me because I was out there in the woods by myself with a big chunk of money in a register. So they wanted me to have a gun to protect it. So I carried a gun for every day that I worked there for a couple of years. And the thing is that I never really wanted to have to go shoot somebody, But one night I left the bar and I had my gun. It was in my car. And I was leaving the bar to go home, and I heard some gunshots at the bar at the end of the street. And I started walking down that way, and I'm like, well, crap, I don't have my gun. And then another gunshot went off. I'm like, and I don't want to get shot. So I turned around and went back, even though I was obligated by holding that car to go, shoot somebody.
That's why you should always keep a hand grenade in your pants. You know what I mean? So you forget the gun, but you got your pineapple. You know what I mean?
And the sad part is some hand grenades are still legal in our country.
Makes you look really impressive in
you
clubs.
Know,
women
you
look
can
at
go
you
shoot a lot of big guns.
in there.
Yeah.
There's
like, places you can go shoot the big guns if you want to.
Speaking of hand grenades, what do you guys think it was that hit the Georgia Guidestones? Did you hear about that?
Dynamite.
Was it the grenade? Was it the fertilizer bomb?
They would have had to. They would have had to drill a little hole. It was granite, so they would have had to drill a little hole, some type of little hole. You can even, it's funny with granite. You can use a blowtorch and burn your way through too with a hammer and a blowtorch. I know guys locally who do rock art, and it's really cool what they do. But you know what? It's been vilified. They said it was Satan. There's a woman running for governor, and she said it was Satan. That it was, and she said it was God's intervention that destroyed that thing, the temple to Satan. And then but there was a car they saw leaving, and some silver car. Unless Jesus is driving a silver Toyota, I don't think that whatever. But it's just another BS thing, and it's another crazy hate crime. We're in the days of take down the statue, you don't like it, and just these people have no limitations. I think we're in the scariest time internally in our country because you have a lot of rogue ticking time bombs that really don't have a limitation on their emotions. They can't control themselves, and they've been taught that to strike out and do violence, and it's okay. And then that's what you see. The guy puts on the dress and goes on top of a roof. Right when Hollywood is denouncing the 4th of July, Bette Midler and all those people on The View too, how terrible America is and all the crap that they say. Meanwhile, they're very prosperous, these people in America. They've done very well for themselves. They have yachts, mansions, and all the best land, but then here they are poo-pooing on the country that treated them so well. But then you get these freaks who receive these messages, and then they don't need much to be pushed over the edge. And this guy, he called himself a rapper and whatever. The second I see a face tattoo or a neck tattoo, I'm in the zone where I know who I'm dealing with. When I see a guy who makes his hair pink, I know I'm dealing with somebody on drugs. You know what I mean? I use profiling, dude. I see that neck tattoo and face tattoo, I know what I'm dealing with. Man, when I used to work in New York City, there's not one day I never went to the city where I didn't run into somebody who's completely out of their minds. And it could be in Penn Station, could be up on the street, doesn't matter, but you understand that those people shouldn't have guns, that they shouldn't have access to things like that. But man, they do. They do.
Well, there are also, I think the blame isn't just with any kind of just the handguns themselves. That's where people put the blame, is that there's also not enough mental health issues out there, and then what is out there is so expensive these guys can't afford it anyway. So
yeah,
they're given the kind of medicine and treatments and professional help that they need.
These guys are just outside
under control.
These guys are in a wealthy area just outside of Chicago. They definitely do have a lot more money for treatment programs, like you say. But a lot of rural areas have no money. There's places that have nothing, so it really goes by the area. And but this dude was a ticking time bomb. He was a red flag. He should have never had those weapons. Whatever. He could have gotten to his car too and driven over a bunch of people and killed them that way. He was that type of mentality.
Yeah.
But he killed some beautiful people. For no reason, no goddamn reason, except that he felt like he could.
So well, I guess if you believe in destiny and karma, where does that leave you?
Leads me not to go.
So
to parades,
on a serious note, though, so why is it that under Democratic presidents we have so much more mass shootings than we do under Republican presidents?
Because they want people to be fearful. They want people to
cower. Think of it like this: Trump had zero.
Because they want people to be safe. His legacy was like, "Hey, I did the economy and I made you safe." He got world leaders scared.
He's got a point.
They were afraid of him. They were afraid. People, Putin, all the rest of them. Remember he bombed Syria. You know what I mean? They were having dinner. He was having dinner with Xi Jinping. Comes back, wipes his face, and says, "Hey, we just bombed that airport in Syria for the chemical weapons. Hey, how's the chocolate cake?" I love referencing that because it shows you how nutty Trump was. And here's a guy saying, "We just bombed that stuff to hell. How's the cake? Do you want more? It's good, isn't it?" When you're dealing with somebody who can compartmentalize like that, you don't mess with them. You know that they can they can move you and checkmate pretty quickly.
I mean, it's funny because I remember Baby Bush had 21, Clinton had 23, and Obama had 128. Trump had 0. I think Biden's already up to almost 20. So what is it? I mean, when we have Democratic presidents in office, the violence in our country goes up through the roof.
Well, what do you guys think that? I mean, what do you really think? I mean, because they're saying Trump is going to get in.
Well, I think
no, I don't know if Trump's going to get in.
It was under one guy it's this way, and one of the other guys is that way. Maybe that's the formula. It's like under the Republicans they want less mass shootings, so that, like you said, that keeps us feeling safe. And then maybe it's the Republicans that want it to be like we're getting shot to death under Democrats, so they lose.
Generally under Republicans, we usually have better economies. It's usually a little bit better on the economies. There's usually more money floating around, and it is safer. It is safer,
and the world is safer. The world politics,
and when the world goes conservative, the world is safer. But I mean,
except for Clinton, we have to say that Bill Clinton, he was responsible for the crime bill in 1993, put 100,000 cops on the streets, and he went after Milosevic pretty quickly.
And he also started giving brothers 15 years in jail for crack. 1 gram of crack. I mean, they went a little overboard with that. But that was one of Biden's bills too. I don't know why a brother would ever vote for Biden.
If you compare Clinton to these modern day Democrats, he looks like a very strict conservative. You know what I mean? So, but whatever, man. He's gone. They're gone. Hillary's talking about running again.
He's still dreaming of his days with Epstein. That's what Clinton's doing.
But I think that Trump will definitely divide, and maybe the second go around he's got. But
wait, but it doesn't matter. You can't, you say that, but Obama divided the country long before Trump got in there.
Not dividing that way. I'm talking about more divide away from the BS. You need someone in there who can identify the problems. You know what? Look at before Trump was president, go way back. All these interviews, when he was running, I was watching these really old interviews with the guy. And I really don't like the guy per se, my personality wise, but he's somebody I can hang out with and have a whiskey and chill out or whatever. Hillary wasn't anybody you could ever hang out with. Bill is somebody you could hang out with and get tanked.
No, those nights we used to hang out with Hillary.
When you're with Bill, you'll end up in that strip club.
Don't let Michael lie to y'all.
But let me tell you, Trump is a very political guy. He always was. He always examined the political scene and had ideas of how he could fix things. So in all these interviews, even with Larry King, he's very real. So, I mean, I think the guy enjoyed the job. I think it was a task. He likes running things. He was a master of industry. He knows how to make money. He didn't go poor doing what he does, So we need that. You need someone who understands business because that's what we are. But then the Democrats say, let's take this money and give it away. Let's take this money and throw it away. Let's take this money and give it to people
because
who deserve
the Democrats are always buying votes. They're always having to buy votes. The party's been slipping for about 3 decades. They always think they're a bigger party, but their party's been slipping. They have a hard time getting people.
Does it make sense though that the very people that they represent that they're not doing anything for?
No, but that's a problem. They have really good press, so the people who think they're doing stuff for them. That's the real problem here. You got half or more. You got 2/3 of the media are constantly blowing smoke up the Democrats' ass.
It's a lie. It's just lies.
Yeah, but it is a lie. But you and I know that. But not all them CNN fans and NSNB fans and CBS and ABC fans know that. They're thinking, Fox and all the rest of the networks are lies, and Fox does lie a lot. I mean, just like any other network.
Because there's a lot of
lies is a strong word. We'll say exaggerate.
A nice way to put it. There's a lot of morons who listen to those channels.
Yeah, there is. There is a lot.
They tune in because that's what they want to hear. They know what they're going to hear. There's no surprises. But yet, we can sit back and look at this shit show with Biden. I mean, today I don't even know. I think he's on his last bit. His eyes were dilated. I don't know if you saw that. When he was ranting, and he just, I don't know. He was obviously reading off a teleprompter. It was right in front of him. His eyes were so dilated. He looked like he was just going to blitz out, and then he was, flanked with, Kamala and the other one. And you know what? It's a show they're putting on, and things are really critically bad in every area. There we have a crisis.
Sorry, guys.
We have a crisis, and it's going to get worse. Wait till fall. You want to see some stuff. So check this out. I mean, the price of oil has been going down for the last month and a half, but the price.
Oh, we're going to talk about that too.
So the price. So it's funny when the price per barrel goes up, the pump prices go up right away overnight. No problem. They're going to change those prices. They can go down for months and then they wait.
Well,
wait.
That's a great segue, Mike, because this article was sent to me a minute ago. Biden oil reserve releases was single-handedly responsible for halting the rise in gas prices, economy advisor says. Now, wait, this is the kicker. Hold on, let me go down here. You're going to love this chicken part. So they releasing it. Okay, 1 million barrels a day is what they're going to release. Biden announced his plan in March to release roughly 1 million barrels a day for oil from the strategic reserve. So then we find out that, wait, the oil is not going to America, it's going to Europe. So the son of a bitch released our oil for our country, and he started letting the refineries send it to Europe.
5 million barrels a day.
What? I mean, what? I'm just completely effing confused. No, they're sending it to, I don't know where. They just sending it to Europe. They didn't say where in Europe. They just said they're sending it to Europe. I was like,
Russia's in Europe. I mean,
well, it is true. Well, no, Russia's technically in Asia. It's a
parts of it are in Europe.
It's a company called Hunter Biden Co. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. Europe, according to the Tuesday report. I mean, so this is what happens to him. He starts doing stuff. And so the media over there is who busted him first. Our media didn't say anything, even though they knew. But once the media announced it in Europe, they didn't have a choice. They had to talk about it here. It's so you're kind of like, okay, what the hell just happened here? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Well, he's not helping anybody, and they're making big money tax dollar wise.
But this should be blown over every TV. Everybody should be going, what the hell are you doing, Biden? What are you on crack, my friend? I mean, oh wait, now I got to say this. I did see this today. A couple of the big Democrats are questioning Biden's run for 2024.
Well, yeah,
they're actually questioning his run for 2022, meaning they're thinking if there's a bad showing at midterm about maybe getting him out.
Yeah,
there's been talk of them talking with the Republicans about impeachment. No.
So what do you do? Do you then let Kamala go?
No, you don't let Kamala. That bitch is crazy.
She has no winnability.
She's crazy, man. Yeah, she's only polling at 4% right now. So I mean, for running for president, it looks like she's going to run if Biden doesn't. But how do you? Trump would eat her for lunch, man. I mean, the girl. Did you hear her the other day giving that speech? It was so incoherent. I was like, I was wondering what kind of drug she was on. She would just say one thing and then move to something else, and then say one thing and move to something else. And it made no sense. Several news medias would carry it. Well, none of the NBC, CBS, ABC, or CNN was carrying it, but everybody else was carrying it. So, you can't give him a slide for gas going backwards when they were sending the oil overseas. So that's typical. But that's typical.
A gallon. I mean, I just looked at my across the street gas station. It's $4.80 for 1 gallon.
Well, here it's
$5 tank.
It's $4.08, and if I use my thing, I get 25 cents off, so it's like $3.87 or something.
I paid $5.50 for Unleaded Plus, man. So
it's disgusting. I remember being able to put $5 in my gas can and be like almost full.
40s and 20.
Well, I could fill my Camry up with $20. Now it takes $60. Under Trump, I mean, we had a couple times under Trump, we had 99 cents gas, but the highest I seen it under him was $1.40. And ground meat was like 89 cents a pound, $2 a pound.
Buck, right? They saved a few dollars. They traveled more. They spent money when they traveled. They went to different hotels. When they did this, they did different restaurants, or in their own hometown, they have more money to spend on local restaurants and local or for clothing. It stimulates the economy. Now, by the time fall hits, you're going to see a huge hole in the economy because people don't have the extra money to spend on anything, and they're focusing on their energy costs. They're focused on keeping food on the table and the most simple, basic survival. And it's going to all fall apart in September, October. You watch what happens. It's going to be a mess. That's my happy word. Be happy for today, because these are good.
Everything's a mess now. It's just going to keep.
Because things are going to increasingly change and get worse.
Yeah, well, it's just
until
we get.
It is going to get worse.
Imagine Joe Biden flying an aircraft, like being the pilot, and you got Kamala as the co-pilot. Isn't that kind of a funny thing to think of? Where these two, just both of them are inept, and they were put in place by politicism and not by thoughtful representation. So even Hillary's got to be kicking herself. Like how could they put that idiot forward and all that other stuff? They passed her up so many times. And a whole cabinet of people who don't know. Pete Buttigieg, whatever, man, in charge of the transportation. And then, so look what's going on in airports. People can't get flights canceled because they don't have enough pilots, because those pilots weren't flying. So they need a certain amount of flight time to work for commercial airlines. But yet we gave them billions in COVID money that this was not supposed to happen. No one's asking for that money back. No one's saying, hey, what are we going to do here? And it's putting a cramp, so, airplanes, when they fly people around, their luggage is just part of it. In the belly of the plane, they fly a lot of goods, and there's a lot of cargo that goes back and forth. So they're really putting a clamp on all of that. And more pushing it on now to the rails. I read Transportation Magazine, and it gives you the telltale signs of what's going on for the future. If they get a cold, the rest of the country dies, and that's kind of how it is. Same for baby formula, same for anything. So we're in trouble, and there's no leadership looking out, saying, "Hey, we see this coming. Let's avoid it, and do what we have to do." No, they just. It happens. They don't even know it's happening. They're kind of like, duh. But Biden today, I'll give him another 2 weeks. I think the guy's going down.
He might. And we'll talk. We're going to talk a little bit. Oh, wait. We got to talk about Elon right quick, though. So Elon pulled out of Twitter, huh? Gave him the bird and said, you didn't prove how many accounts you had that were fake and real, and I'm out of here. Twitter's going to sue him, by the way, to force the merger. They want him to buy the place.
I don't know if they can, because they didn't show him truly.
They didn't show him, yeah. They gave him a bunch of crap, and Elon said that's not what we wanted. This is what we wanted. They don't want to give it to us, which suggests there's some hokey pokey going on. So Elon, you're gonna have a hard time. I mean, Elon's in court all the time anyway. I mean, when you got that kind of money, you spend a lot of time in court. It's an unfortunate way of living, but it's part of it. Goes along with the territory. I see a bunch of other companies are laying off. So I keep hearing about how great the country's doing. The tech industry is laying off people by the hundreds, so by the thousands, I should say. Elon already laid off a bunch.
I'll tell you right now, the job market out there is terrible. And if you go on Indeed, there'll be thousands of people jumping on one job, or 500, even 100. You're talking about a situation where they're like, oh no, there's plenty of jobs. People just don't want to work. That's a lie. It's actually the opposite. That there's
well, no job. I'm glad you brought it up. I did the real unemployment rate. So most people don't know this. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you hear, oh well, the unemployment rate is 3.6, when they tell you that, that's the people who have gotten off of unemployment. Okay, that's not the majority of people in the country. Like contractors and stuff like that, they don't get unemployment. Gig workers don't get unemployment, so that doesn't count for them. The majority of people who are out of work are not showing up on that. So they have a thing. I forgot the name of it, but it's a DD. Oh hell, I can't remember how you do it. It's an acronym, but it's 11.1% right now, and climbing. So, because you got to remember, there's lots of people that don't have employees. I mean, half the places we go right now, their biggest thing is we can't get employees. I've actually seen like the Family Dollar up the street. This place been there for decades. I passed by the day. I noticed it was dark. I passed by. It's been dark for a week. It's closed. You can't get help. A good friend of mine who was opening a chicken restaurant up, he owns a couple of restaurants. I was eating in his restaurant a couple of weeks ago, and the help was telling me we're working 10, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. So when he came by, I said, dude, what's up with the chicken restaurant? He said, I had to sell it. I can't get help. He said, I just can't. I can't get help. And he's not the only one. I'm talking to people. We're looking for help. Everybody's looking for help.
But you
can't get any decent help.
You got to examine the per hour rate versus the poverty rate for that area. The poverty rate is skyrocketing, especially now because of all the inflation. So the people that were buying a loaf of bread for $1 now are paying $3. You know what I mean? So, and hey, if you have to drive, and let's say in my Jeep, an hour's worth of travel, 1 hour is worth $40. It's going to cost me $40 in gas right now, the way the prices are, So it's just, that's the way it goes. And if you have to, let's say whatever your job pays per week, if you have to spend 200 or 300 in gas going back and forth to work, if you work more than an hour, or even like let's say even a half hour there, half hour back, which actually isn't all that bad, but you're still paying. You know what I mean? Even though I have a Hemi, and that's my fault, and I'm not looking to get rid of it because gas mileage is for wimps, But it really comes down to this is a crisis that was created artificially. It doesn't need to be. And these people are doing it. They have their liberal agenda. The Biden spokesman said it that this is part of the liberal globalization. He's in the White House. He said it last week. So this is what they're doing. This is their move to go green. But yeah, great. You know how much it costs to charge an electric car?
A lot.
Yeah, it takes forever is what the real problem is.
8-hour charge for
minimum.
For 32 cents a minute or something like that? Somewhere around there.
Some of the cars take 22 hours for a full charge. I was reading about it the other day.
What if a bunch of people have them and then there's no way?
So I will say they're doing this though. So I was listening today. They're doing this in Louisiana and Mississippi. It's called the Supercharger Highway. So there's going to be every 40 or 50 or 60 miles, there's going to be a charging station. So if you want to stop in, top off, stuff like that, they want to make it as convenient as gas. But the problem is, anything that supercharges has a risk of catching on fire, blowing up. The reason they charge them the way they do is because they don't want to overheat those lithium batteries.
Because it kills the battery. It kills the battery.
Well, it kills the battery, but it can also cause a fire. So it's just you have to do it at a certain
lithium
speed.
Goes up, man. It goes up like a Roman candle.
What do you mean CAD batteries? You can put do you know what kind of battery? You know how much weight a car would have? You had to put a CAD battery in. I mean, Jesus, the whole car would be a battery. And then it would only probably last for like a half a day or something. You'd be out.
Get memory loss and eventually be worthless anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we use lithium for a reason, and we're looking for other better batteries than that. But right now, electric cars have a much bigger carbon footprint than a conventional car does. And I've had people lose money over this, by the way. So, I've had people bet me, oh no, it does. No, yes, it does. Even the smallest. They got one that's an electric Volt. This thing's teeny, man. I wouldn't even get in this thing. It looks like a death trap. Even it has a carbon footprint of about 3 F-150s, and it's tiny. So when you get in like Teslas and all, they have a carbon footprint of about 6 or 7. Some of them even have a carbon footprint of about an 18-wheeler. The problem is one, lithium is done by strip mining, but it's not just lithium. There's several chemicals that go into these batteries, and they're not just in one location. So the batteries have to be shipped around and put together, and all the chemicals have to be shipped around. So, and by the way, when I mean shipped around, I'm talking about on big ships in the ocean. So yeah, they burn a lot of fuel. So they're doing all of this, and then they come over here, and then they're moved around by trucks and trains, and until they're all assembled wherever they are. And some of them are assembled in different parts, or assembled in different countries, and they're sent over. So the carbon footprint is huge. It's just huge, and we're nowhere near setting that.
Little African kids down those mines working hard,
Well, in this case, I think it's like Afghanian kids, but still close.
They have lithium mines in Africa.
Oh yeah, they do. They got some in South America. I was reading
the whole thing about how that's what the new slavery is.
Well, I remember when the little black kid snuck out of Africa and he brought me my diamond. It was about this big around. And I gave him a set of beads and we called it even. It was cool.
Oh yeah, that's how I bought New York City.
That's how it worked. Oh no, actually, I'm not making fun of the trade. I've watched. Unfortunately, that does happen down there, and there's still parts of our planet where slavery is just.
The fact of the matter is we don't have any new technology that's going to swoop up within the next 20, 25 years even to be industrialized that's going to help us not use fossil fuels as much. I mean, the more they look
let's just say that
like the wind propellers we talked about last week. They don't know what to do with them. They're putting them in landfills. That's not a solution, man. It's not a solution.
So let's just say that they convince us all to buy an electric car. Okay. And we got these big carbon footprints all over the planet. The problem is how do you charge them? Oh, with electricity. Well, where does electricity come from? Oh, coal and natural gas and nuclear power.
All the stuff we said not to use.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're defeating the purpose because you're just using more of that. Remember, people, it's not going to stay the same. So your average power consumption from your local plant is this amount. Once everybody has electric cars and have to be charging all the time, that amount's going to double or even triple.
are people going to be able to get a new
Think
car
about
in
your
a couple of
electric bill,
years?
people.
You know, because people tend to hold on to their cars. It's expensive buying a new car.
You ain't holding an electric
Make
car
your
for more than
payments.
10
Once you
years.
make your payments, people hold on to their cars for 7 to 10 years. You're not going to do that with an electric car. There's too many things that are going to go wrong, including the battery. The battery will be half-life within 2 years. You know, so it's not something that is going to be sustainable for people on a budget. You know what I mean? Have to buy a new car every couple of years is ridiculous.
Well, I think
I
right
don't
now
see.
they're
I don't
planning
see
on
the
5
advantage.
years.
I think I'm going
There is
Amish.
none right now.
I think I'm going Amish, man. I'm going to crossbreed on Amish because I'm going to do a hybrid. I'm going to be the electric Amish. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go and be Amish.
I still
but
don't
I'm going to have
understand.
limited electricity. I'm going to use those other Amish people to run on conveyor belts to make my electric, man. You see? Now that's green all day long. And I'm going to feed them on oats. You know? That's very humane.
Well, I still don't know why we don't go hydrogen. It's easy. It's clean.
It's too
it
easy.
Produces water. I mean, the side effect is water. I mean,
It's too
Jesus,
easy,
people.
Joe.
I mean, come
Well,
on.
They had an engine in the 80s that some dude. I remember this from when I was in
I'll
high
never
school.
understand
My
that.
graduate year. They had this guy invented this a battery for cars that essentially you ran it off of either distilled water or some kind of. Sometimes I think you could pour in like brackish water from like the creek, but you pour a distilled gallon of water in it and it would go for 300 miles and it expelled ozone and water.
There was this guy who had this DeLorean, man, and he put this garbage in it, and he go 88 miles an hour, and it freaking was a time machine. It was awesome too. No, you know what? Israel came up with
He's
a new
on
motor
crack.
that's a 30 horsepower motor that runs on water, and all you really need to do is ionize the water, and you have.
Which is why you use
hydrogen
distilled
base.
water. Usually, it's ionized.
That's it, and it's easy to use. It's easy to fuel up, and it goes back into nature. They don't want to do it because oil companies don't make that kind of money off it. All right,
There's no money involved in it. Once everybody has it, the planet wouldn't need them.
That's what it's all about. So just like nuclear power is most efficient energy that we really have, if you want to talk about renewable energy, you know, but they want to focus on other things. But man, you know, it's going to take a while. Let's just say it's going to take a long time to wean ourselves off of fossil fuels. But there has to be a legitimate alternative. We
need a clean backup, or
right.
You know, the next evolution or whatever it is.
It's got to be something that's high tech and can replicate itself. You know, I mean, synthetic fuels, things like that. There's those that's been around since the days of the Nazis. You know, that was Hitler's thing, right? They ran out of fuel and they did everything they could to come up with some kind of new fuel. Really, their downfall is because they ran out of fuel and food. If you think about it.
Also, if you think about it, the original diesel engine, which was invented in Germany, was designed really to run on like food oil.
Yeah.
It wasn't designed on petrol. It was designed
you ever drive behind someone,
pour it into it, and the thing would run.
You ever drive behind someone who runs their vehicle on that oil from you know, just food oil?
Yeah.
It's the nastiest, smellingest stuff. It makes you want to kill them. Like it makes you want to just kill them or just get off the road so you don't have to smell it anymore. It's terrible.
Well, see, the funny thing is they usually get that for free. That's why they do it. A and B, they don't realize they can also pour just regular, clean, like peanut oil from the grocery store shelf into their tank and go.
I see that smoke coming out of there. And peanut oil is a lot more expensive than gas.
Yeah, it is. Well, no, yeah, it is about $5 a quart. Maybe $5 a half. I don't know, something like that. It's
around that,
expensive.
$3 or $4 per quart.
So wait, let's move on to a different subject now. Come on, we're moving into presidential candidates.
Price is Right.
Yeah, well, Price is Right might have a good presidential candidate at this rate. So now I've been seeing big things that they said if Biden don't run, that the party's going to be in disarray. It's going to be a free for all. Gavin Newsom wants to run. What's her name in New York wants to run. Every Democrat in the country wants to run. It's going to be a free for all mess, and I doubt they're going to get the best person for the job. So I don't know who would take it anyway. Gavin Newsom thinks he's going to take it, but I don't think he is, and he's not really well liked around the country.
What do you guys think? Who would you choose to run both sides?
Hillary Clinton.
For the Republicans?
Yeah. I put Hillary Clinton Trump up against the Trump's automatic in, you know. If you're going to pat it to one side, pat it to the side you want. I'm with Joe. Put in Hillary Clinton, put her up against Trump, and Trump wins. I'm all for that.
Yeah,
Trump will crush her.
I'm not sure if Trump's going to run 100%. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on at Jan 6 he's going to have to deal with. I mean, but this is typical Democrat stuff. They're going to blow their wad way too soon. if they can't prove that Trump, like they did with the Russia thing, if they can't prove it, they can't get him in criminal charges. And so far, the DOJ don't seem interested.
If they have
they
to
blew
go
it because it'll be 2 years from now before he runs for president. All this will be water under the bridge.
If they have to supersede the president and the vice president, that's going to shake the entire foundation of the Democratic Party like it's already shaken. But it's going to take all those middle of the road voters, and
AOC is going to run and
they're
win.
going to have zero confidence in the Democratic Party, especially after all the money they're seeing leaving their bank account and how horrible their lives have become on these Democrats. And also the uncertainty of the future. There are people out there that are planning families, starting families. Now they don't know about the future. People retiring, they don't know about the future. I hear from people all the time saying, I have to retire next year. I don't know if I can afford to. I don't know what's going to happen. That uncertainty is going to vote for the rock solid. If you vote for Trump, you know what you're going to get. Yeah, he's got a big goddamn mouth, but he knows how to run the show.
But I wonder, Mike, because he's been a lot quieter now than he was the first time around. I don't know if he's going to be as loud as he was.
He just doesn't have.
I think he might have learned.
Right now.
I don't.
He gives a great speech though, man. I was watching.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to. I think he might have learned something from the first round. I'm not saying he's going to be a quiet guy.
This might be strategic. I agree.
I think he's going to be quieter than he was the first term.
All he has to do is say, "I told you so." That's all he has to do. That's all he has to say.
He'll be like, I told you, you SOB. I'm the boss. I'm the king.
Voted for. Look what's happening in our country. Look what's.
I'll tell you what the Republicans' fantasy is: 4 years of Trump, 8 years of DeSantis. We completely turned the country around. And that's their fantasy. And they might do it. They might.
You're
it happened under Bush.
Us Northerners look at Southerners differently, man. I don't think that DeSantis could really capture a lot of those Republican voters up north.
Easy.
I'm not saying. He got a weak chin to me. Here, if you ever watch Dukes of Hazzard, they got Boss Hogg, who kind of ran the county. He always had this nephew who was like the weak-chinned guy who went to Harvard, who was always trying to manipulate them Duke boys. You know what I mean? Trying to get that.
DeSantis is very popular around the country, not just in Florida.
Catherine Bach's beautiful legs.
Matter of fact, the only person that polls more than DeSantis is Trump. That's it. So he'll pull.
I'm talking about Catherine Bach's beautiful legs. And
Who cares, man? I see legs all the time. I live in the deep.
You're pulling off. I'm talking about her.
Mike, you realize I live on the deep south on the beach, man. Come on, I see legs all the time. It's not even a big thing down there. Legs and boobs is just second nature down.
But Jay and I are stuck here in the frigid north, and we don't see
I can't help that. I can't help y'all choose to live in hell.
Legs to us, we don't want to see.
Them hairy ones ain't even shaved in 6 months.
You gotta look the other way.
Oh man, ladies, I'm
going
sorry.
to a strip club on a Monday afternoon. Come on.
Hey, it's strange, but I think I don't know if I even want Trump to run. I mean, I want Trump in there for one reason only. Because the son of a bitch will fix the economy and get gas back down to $1 again.
He'll end the war.
He'll end the war. Well, Putin's scared of Trump. He would have never done this under Trump. Matter of fact, no world leader, even Xi Jinping, won't do it because Trump's crazy. You don't know what he's going to do. The whole 95 cruise missiles proves that you don't know what the hell Trump's going to do. You're right.
Kim Jong-un is crazy. He looks at Trump saying he's crazy.
No, he's crazier than I am, man. Yeah. Because Kim did quit. He quit. He started behaving. He's like, matter of fact, I think they might have even poisoned him a little bit to calm him down so he didn't start World War III. Because, he just kind of disappeared there for like a year and a half.
Yeah, but Trump is a functional crazy, and you can count on that.
Yeah.
You know exactly how he's going to run things. 93% of people in January 2020, before COVID hit, said they had a great life in this country. 93%. They asked thousands of people on all parties, man, everything. They had a great life. They wouldn't change a thing. Yeah. That's big.
I know. Maria, I'm a hypocrite. I didn't vote for Trump either time. I didn't vote for Hillary or Biden either time either. So, yeah, they too loud. They give me headaches. But I'm worried about the Democrat. They may implode. I mean, you may just see it. AOC is going to run and be the next president of the United States. And we're all going to just go, really? And we'll know there's cheating then. There won't even be any doubt then. The whole country will be like, really? Oh,
Pelosi
yeah.
says she's going to step down. You have a lot of big power people out there either getting assassinated or stepping down, man. You know what I mean? Like all over the world.
Well, Pelosi said that before every. You know why she says that? Because she's scared she's going to lose at the midterm. Because she's got to go every 2 years. So she's scared she's going to get lose, or they might choose another Speaker of the House if they win.
With a Republican wave, it's going to be a Republican speaker.
Yeah, the wave might not be as big as it was now because of thanks to Roe versus Wade.
It better not be Mitch McConnell. It better not be Mitch McConnell. Better not be. I hate that guy. I can't stand him.
I want Butterbutt to be. Yeah, put Butterbutt in charge. That idiot. It's
no, you need a Republican who's going to be pretty balanced, and somebody who knows the ropes.
You know who's going to probably end up if it's not McConnell, that's going to be like what's his name?
Cherry pick Trey Gowdy, man. Get Trey Gowdy.
He won't run again. He said, "I'm out." He's out of politics.
I know.
He's making big money.
I like him.
Man.
I liked
him too.
Well,
but
he's on
big
Fox.
Money.
He's a commentator on Fox now.
Yeah, but he's got some law firm, man. He makes big money. He's like,
oh yeah,
he's
They all do. That's why.
Trey Gowdy.
Trey
Gowdy. Every Democrat that got in front of him, he ate for lunch.
You want to make money, you got to get into politics. That's how they make their money.
I often wonder if the Democrats had something on him the way he just left. Yeah, dude, we seen you with that stripper. Keep it up. We're gonna tell everybody who you really are. He probably said, "I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later."
I think he was.
Yeah, if you can't dance to become a two-step, you shouldn't be in politics.
There are people I liked in Democrats, like Harold Ford, another guy on Fox.
But if I was
he was a big Democrat,
senator,
but now he doesn't want to go back. He I think they just understand it's not a winning game.
Well, this party is messed up. I mean, this party equates to the worst mess in the Republicans when the Tea Party split. And they were in a mess back then. Even though they managed to vote together, they were still in a mess. But
Tea Party, Green Party, all that sideline crap.
It's this party is right now. When I look at the Democratic Party, I look at three parties. I look at the centrist part of the party, the Liberal Party, and the Progressive Party. And by the way, if you don't know what the Progressive are, that's AOC and what's her name? Adib, whatever, the one that always hates the Jews.
She got booed the other day. She went to something.
Yeah, well, it looks like she's going to lose.
Everybody there booed her. Choruses of booing.
The girl that's running against her is winning right now.
She married her own brother, man. Aside from being kinky,
which is illegal in this
something
country.
Something you don't do.
Well, it's illegal in the United States. I'm not even sure how she got away with it. I'm like,
what about the child marriages going on in the Muslim community up there in Minnesota? People don't talk about that, and also, how they circumcise young girls, and there are people who need to go to court. They need to be convicted. There are doctors who
and eventually there will be, but not anytime soon.
But they're not motivated to do it because they don't want to interfere in that whole thing. But that's not representation.
Yeah, but when people start leaving the community and getting into different parts of different fields, and they start talking about it, it'll change. It's just everything in the country's slow. It takes.
You know what, man? My fellow Amish people would say, I don't have an idea with that. And if they get loud, since I'm the electric Amish, I just use a taser. You know what I mean? And then tell them it was God after that. It was wait. God.
Summer, what were you talking about? I just seen what Summer put up there a little while ago about Elon wants. He said he wants to start subscription cars.
Yeah. Ezekiel got knocked out.
Wants to start subscription cars. I guess.
What the hell is a subscription car?
You subscribe to it for a month, 6 months, a year. I don't know.
For what?
Yeah.
Magazine?
For your car.
I guess for your car.
For who? Who's doing this?
Elon
wants to do it.
I was talking about tasing Amish people for some reason.
Stop tasing Amish people.
Change the subject on you.
Anyway, so I have heard other people like Ted Cruz and Rand Paul and stuff like that for the Republicans. I don't know if they're going to run. I mean, it's going to be hard if Trump runs. And right now it's a 50-50 shot with Trump. Not because his ego don't want him to run. His ego wants him to run. He's just got to worry about if anything's going to get brought up. He's already won the Russia thing. So, see, this is the thing for Trump. If the January 6th turns out to be nothing, which we're pretty sure it's going to, Trump gets to beat the living shit out of the Democrats. The whole Russia thing alone, he can just tout over them, saying,
this is the deal,
you said this, you said that, you said this. Look at the economy, look at the gas.
It's this simple. With Trump, you know what you're getting.
That's true.
It was like having a big reliable Cadillac. You know what you're getting. It has got some more miles on it, but you know what you're getting.
It's better to dance with the devil you know than the devil you don't.
The Democrats, you also know what you're getting. They've mismanaged. They've ran things into the ground. They have no idea, no plan, no nothing. The young people in America, they don't want that. They want a future. They want to see themselves a secure future. So they're going to go safe. They're going to go financial. They're going to go law and justice. People are afraid to walk the streets of their neighborhoods because of this. Because
I'm not. Martha at? She's in another room, but I'm not.
See, you don't even know where it's at. Some guy come in there right now.
No, I know where it's at. I can see it from
here. Point a potato gun at you, and you're done, man.
Oh no, man! The wife would shoot him in a heartbeat too. She ain't got no problem shooting anybody.
Because you guys are in the South, man.
Yes.
Well, Jay's in Pennsylvania.
Matter of fact, most
of their guns in Pennsylvania.
I'm one state above the South.
Well, most of the females down here I know can shoot a gun. and will not hesitate shooting somebody if you messing with their man.
Pennsylvania loves their guns.
Pennsylvania should be a red state.
Better gun laws than
you
like
blue
New York
bitches. You should be a red state, but I'm calling y'all blue bitches right
now.
In
Vermont,
y'all voted for that moron Biden.
You could easily get a handgun in Vermont. So people, there are Democrats that love their guns too. You know what? And the sheriffs out there will tell you that they like it when people have home ownership of guns. It makes their jobs better. It makes a more secure environment. And also national security wise, it's good to have people armed, and it's that simple. But yeah, the freaks are going to happen. But these freaks were known. They were known, man. There wasn't just some the shooter, the Mandalay Bay guy, there was no way you could have stopped him. Only the hotel. I fault the hotel security for letting the guy up to that room with so many rifles as a security risk. I would have had him put it in the vault, and the guy would have never gotten to the room with those bullets. It was a safety hazard, But yeah, he killed over almost 300 people.
Oh, you mean the guy in Vegas? No, he had the guns in cases. You wouldn't have seen him.
Yeah, no. I was watching the video of security and the bellboy going up with them. They were all gun cases. And
some were. Yeah, I agree. But I think he used the excuse that he was out there to do some hunting in the desert at some point.
He didn't have to say that. All he had to do is say he was a dealer. They could have done nothing about it.
No, he had over 40 guns. But still, either way, every hotel has a vault for security, and that's where you put that stuff. You don't let people go to rooms. Let's say he wasn't in the room and somebody broke into the room and take these guns and do whatever. It's a security hazard. Plus the ammo. It's a security hazard, man. But either way, it happened, and they try to downplay. They don't talk about it. You don't ever hear like Vegas mention, say, a peep word.
Yeah, because Vegas is paying people not to say anything. That's what I mean.
And those bump stocks are still legal. You can get them, and get them anywhere. So,
well, they're not legal. You can't have one in your gun if you get caught when you lose your gun.
No, they're still legal. FBI, all that, they cleared it. They're still legal. They didn't make any laws against it because they said they can't. So, laws are specific. I remember when the ban
people went into effect. For y'all bought a bump stock.
I had an FFL license. I was selling firearms when that ban went into effect, and the only thing it did was make guns more expensive. It drove the price up like crazy, but it didn't. The Tech 9 was a big gun for the streets. That type of thing. And then after the ban, they called it the AB-10. So same gun, same platform, different name. So like when they make these things illegal, they don't make the platform illegal. They make the name illegal. So AK-47, knockoffs of that came after that. Or even the SKS, they were cheap. I remember buying mine at Woolworths. You know what I mean? I bought an SKS for like $160. And that thing was beautiful. It was a Chinese-made SKS, 7.62 by 39 millimeter. It was beautiful, man.
Yeah, shot one of those.
Stayed nice and cool. It was cool.
All right, let's get away from the guns. We got complained about the guns last week.
Who complained? That's it.
Yeah, a couple people. Because we get into guns. You and I get into it for a long time. So it's Dems reportedly full outright worry president won't be able to rescue plunging poll before midterms. Yeah. What do you got? What are we in? July now? August, September, October? Ooh, 3 months? Ooh, man, I don't know. I'm thinking you in trouble, Mr.
We are more than halfway through the year.
Yeah, but the election is November 2nd or November 4th, depending on where it is.
The Democrats are going to target gas prices in September and October. They're going to try to lower all that stuff and make.
They're not going to get them down low enough.
No, they're not going to be able to.
At this point, it's just you'd have to get them down really ahead of time. People are not going to a temporary gas fight just before an election. People aren't that stupid.
People aren't driving, so the demand is down, so the manufacturing is down. And then they say they have to lay people off of these manufacturing plants. Plus, Biden's been killing permits. He hasn't been giving permits. He's been killing them, So, what he says is a complete lie. And it's so disheartening it is. Isn't it disheartening, man? Just you have the president of the United States. So, we can't trust any of them. That's horrible.
See, look, DeSantis got power without even trying to have power. Liberal outlet forced to make correction after Twitter liberals try to use false headline against DeSantis. This guy is almost untouchable, man. Plus, his wife is dying of cancer, and he's eschewing anything he does. He's well liked, and he puts his wife ahead of everything else he's doing. So the country just loves this guy. He can't beat Trump right now, but if enough stuff comes out of Jan 6 about Trump, he might be able to.
Got to get them two boys.
But I don't know if he's going to actually run for president. He said it depends on who's running. That's what he says.
Yeah, I'll bet you if it's not Trump, he's in. If Trump's in, he'll wait.
You know Trump's going to do it because his ego. And January 6th is going to haunt him a bit. Pence is going to haunt him a bit.
I think it's going to disappear the next year or so. They're not going to find anything on this.
So wait a minute. So the White House grilled on protest targeting Justice Kavanaugh. So this guy's having dinner in a restaurant. This is Judge Kavanaugh is having dinner in a restaurant and was forced out of the restaurant by liberals.
Yeah.
You know what he needs to do? He needs to hire security if they won't get.
Well, you had a big Democrat telling people to go and do it. She was out there yesterday telling people haunt these guys, or if they go to a restaurant, wherever they go, get.
They do realize if a justice gets killed, somebody's going to prison in a Democratic Party.
I think it's inevitable at this point that you put something in motion like that. It's a very hard thing to stop. I'm sure that they have people in that realm of thought right now, unfortunately, but they need more security. Just the fact those people are walking past their houses is something that should never be happening.
Yeah, but they're having to pass legislation in some states that it's illegal to walk near the justices' houses.
I'm in the world of self-defense, and I
he
feel
needs
like
to move. You know what? All you justices, except the liberal ones, you need to move to the side.
If I'm having dinner and someone gets in my face screaming at me, I'm going to feel the urge to defend myself, and because you're being threatened, you don't know what they're doing. They're attacking you. You know what I mean? It's not like, okay, you're a peaceful protester. They're not. These are angry, out of control, ticking time bombs, man. So this is something that is going to get worse because as it's tolerated, it's going to climb. It's going to get worse, and it's being fed by the left. They're telling people to go and do it.
Well, all the economists right now are saying we're on the edge of a recession. So I don't know how Biden or anybody's going to get us out of that. That's going to go through at least until the next president.
He's hoping on a recession because the Democrats think if we're in a recession, it's going to drive down the stock market and drive down prices of things. It's actually the opposite. It's going to make
it's going to drive everything up.
It's going to make the debt go out of control, and the prices, especially energy prices, will go up. It's a mess, and it's not being managed. There's nobody out there managing it.
So, as we've been doing the show tonight, I've been looking to see how much Roe versus Wade has been in the news. So far, I've been on Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and ABC. I haven't seen it on any other pages, any of it. Yeah. Even though they think that's what's going to carry them through the election, it's not even making the news anymore. And it's not going to make it before the election because, frankly, most Americans are like, okay, it happened. We'll deal with it. Most Americans are like this now. Congress has to deal with it. We're more interested in why we're paying $10 a pound for ground meat and $5 a gallon for gasoline and $5 a thing for bread and $10 for this and $10 for that. The country's pissed. Even though prices are even though wages are rising, everything else is rising faster than your wage. So it doesn't matter if you get a raise. All these states will give you $15 an hour, where everything there's so ridiculous high. You'd have to go up to $35 an hour, which would put you out of business. It's bad. I don't know how it's going to change anytime soon.
Here it is, man. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre gave the thumbs up Friday to protesters who targeted Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh while he dined out at a Washington restaurant this week. Then she cut off questions about her implication with a haughty, "I'm done here." So that's what, that's
yeah, she knew she got herself in trouble. Yeah, she could be in trouble for that.
There is no trouble. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything about anything.
Yeah, Mike, you stop, because you're not thinking about what's going to happen. In 3 months, if there's a big red wave, they can take all of this and do all these investigations.
Are we going to survive 3 months, man? I mean, people are so at odds. Things are so crazy. It's bad.
It's not even as bad as it was prior to 9/11. We haven't even got to that point yet. 9/11, I think, was a direct influence because the country was on the verge of a civil war.
You see Biden put that medal of honor on that guy backwards? It was on his back instead of his front. The dude, listen, it's sad seeing the decline of someone like that. Even him, I mean, I don't like him at all. I think he's actually pretty evil, but I don't know. It's actually very obvious to other countries and other leaders that we have no leadership.
Oh yeah, that's another thing down here. So they set up the trigger laws down here for abortion in Louisiana. Well, New Orleans said, okay, screw you, because our mayor's from Compton, California. She said, screw you. We're gonna make it. We're not gonna make it so our law enforcement can't arrest you, and nobody can do anything about it. We're not gonna arrest any doctors or any people. Well, the judge in New Orleans said, oh yes, you are, or you will go to jail. So they were like, uh-oh. So she found out she ain't all powerful. This woman thinks she's the most powerful person in the state, and I know, and the governor's a Democrat, and he's thinking, really? Come on, chick, you are not.
So Biden admits that the border agents did not whip the migrants. He punishes them anyway. There you go. You want to know what kind of place you're in now? That's what kind of place you're in now.
It's and that's another thing, all these governors, these blue states are trying to pass these really crazy laws. And it's like the New York one where they said, we're going to look at your Facebook and Instagram. Every judge I heard say, no, that's an invasion of privacy there. I don't think you do it. But see, it's not necessarily an invasion of privacy. It's a public page unless you make it a private page.
This little girl that got, her parents got killed, and they're making a point of like she's asking questions about her parents now. Where are they? I mean, both mother and father. The father shielded her from this freak. It's funny how the Democrats are using that and using her for the gun violence thing, where at the same time the freak that did it, and his whole ideology, whatever, was the same crap that Democrats are pushing and giving the green light. So they're allowing people to be victimized. They're allowing people, and then they're going to use that victimization for their own purposes. That's how evil that is, man. I mean, and it's very obvious, very obvious.
Somebody just asked me, what was that? Oh, what's my plan to get rid of mass shootings? Don't vote for Democrats. Since they have far more under Democrats than they do under Republicans.
You know what?
Think about it, people. I mean, a lot of Republicans haven't had any.
They need to be in mental health. And these 99% of them were on psychotropic drugs, some kind of drug. They had some kind of mental problem. They shouldn't have had guns to begin with, and they were able to get those guns. But then also they've been desensitized, obviously, to that type of thing, to go and do something like that without thinking about it.
Well, I mean, that's part of the definition of crazy. That they don't know that it's right or wrong. They just do it.
They need to be locked up in a mental institution.
I agree.
And then, years ago that they let people go. Remember when Ed Koch, he closed down a bunch of them in New York City. The one guy got himself a sword and killed somebody on the ferry, the Staten Island ferry. That's how crazy it gets. But who's putting you in danger? Think about that. Who's putting
Democrats?
You in danger? Yeah, I'm saying. I'm not seeing anybody else do it. Sad, man.
There's too much crap going on in the country.
Harrison Ford's childhood home is up for $749,000.
Wow. Oh wait, hold on, guys. We got to take a break here, ladies and gentlemen. We got little promos that have to run for all you people who love us out there. So just hang on. We'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes, and you can see these. You can see these promos. Hold on.
It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. There's a show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, UFO Undercover, in the category of entertainment. This show brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology. So go to podcastawards.com and nominate UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. That's podcastawards.com. So take a moment, get out and vote. Yes, it's that time of year again. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. So there's a show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards. You've been hearing it for years now. It's the Writers and Illustrators of the Future podcast in 3 categories: education, storyteller drama, and art. So this show is based on the world-famous Writers of the Future contest created in 1983 by L. Ron Hubbard and provides advice and tips from contest judges, international best-selling authors, world-class artists, contest winners, and industry professionals for writers and illustrators wanting to take their next step. So go to podcastawards.com and nominate the Writers and Illustrators of Future podcast in all 3 categories. That was education, storyteller drama, and art. And that's podcastawards.com. So take a moment and get your votes in.
So, as Emily says, get your ass out and vote. Be sure you get out there. Don't forget Chasing Prophecies up as well. And their promo will be coming on later in the show, at the end of the show. So get out and vote, people. I want to win. I want to win. Yeah, and look, see, Mike and Jay want to win too because they're on this show. This show's up for it. So vote. Go vote for all of us. Yes. Why did I put the girls in both best females? Because they're 2 females. Amelia and Michelle are both strong, positive females. It's a good place for them to be. And we'll see. We'll see who wins. I mean, they're strong. We'll see. Yes. Anyway, get out there and vote and make us all happy. So I'm looking at this thing about, okay, Biden flips out, Kamala Harris runs for president. They don't even think she can win the primary because she don't just automatically get it. She's got it. She can, there's going to be a primary. So
yeah, I don't think she can win it.
I don't either. I don't know. I know, what's her name? Mr. Magoo runs to run. If y'all don't know who Mr. Magoo is, that's Bernie Sanders. Actually, usually I call him Gargamel because he reminds me more of Gargamel than Mr. Magoo.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know who Mr. Magoo and Gargamel is, shame on y'all. I'm just telling you. Are they out there again? Huh? Oh, my wife just informed me that, of course, the PD is out road blocking the bridge in front of our house like they do every weekend. Yes, I don't know. They're just, they're just ridiculous with this stuff. Yes, yeah, they're out harassing and ruining people's weekend because they can. See, and then people in the white cops get bad reps because of stuff like that. That's why. And, because you have to prove yourself innocent. Yes, by the way, people, roadblocks are absolutely illegal, even though all states allow them. There's just conditions to them. But when a cop asks you, when you're just driving along and you catch a roadblock and he asks you to see your driver's license insurance, he's assuming you're guilty until you prove your innocence. That's what he's doing. Because, he has no reason to ask you for any of that. You weren't breaking any laws. You're not drunk. You're not stoned. There's no reason for him to ask to see your license or your insurance. That, in my fact, is he's assuming you're guilty until you prove you're innocent. In the United States, that's completely illegal. You are innocent until proven guilty. So they're breaking the law every time they do it. In Mississippi, they have to put it on the newspaper 3 days before they set up a roadblock. Nobody uses newspapers anymore, so I don't know where the hell they're putting it. Louisiana, only 1 hour before roadblock, they have to announce it on a local radio station. And then they can keep announcing on the station while it's going on. Different states have different rules, but, they are. And don't forget, people, by law, your car is an extension of your home.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just screwing you every time they do this. I would actually start voting out any sheriffs or any states that abide by this. I would make an issue in your state and start voting people out. It'll go away really fast. There was a trooper who liked to do a roadblock on our bridge, and everybody started calling it. They said it's a hazard. They made him stop because they were scared they were going to get sued if something happened. So it's the same thing with roadblocks. And on this particular bridge, on a weekend, somebody may be drunk flying over the top of that damn thing and kill a bunch of people. I'm more worried because I only live about 80 feet from where a roadblock and that there might be a shootout. And then I'd have to shoot back. And it just would be bad. It's no, people, I'm just teasing. But there could be a shootout. I mean, cops are not exactly like these days. They're more liked in the South than they are in other parts of the country. But still, they're not liked. And you never know when somebody might just flip out. I know that's what I say too. Run for the damn hills.
There are people that
yes, I know I'm damn sexy. Thank you very much.
That in itself is a bad thing.
Well, thank you. I know I'm handsome too. What can I say? I know. Hey, look, I can't help these ugly other guys, but it's always gotta be like
you invited us.
You invited us. So anyway, that was a good one. It was a good comeback. Anyway, there's just so much of this stuff that's always going on. We're always dealing with so much crap. Just everybody's in such a bad mood, and coming out of our COVID, people seem to be cranky. They're aggravated. I see it on the highway. They're just irritated. I talk to people. They're snappy. They're just because they want to be traveling. And everybody's. Right now the highways and the airplanes are full. Last 2 flights I took was just unbelievably. There was no room. Every seat was sold out. And so there's a lot of this out there. So what's going on is people are angry. They want to get out there. And then all of a sudden it's gotten so expensive. So last year you could fly to LA and back for $220. It's already tripled that now. People are mad and they want to go do stuff.
I was going to say 220 is not a bad fee, but if it's tripled,
that's what I'm saying. That was just dirt cheap. I was surprised when I seen it. I was like, wow. Okay, so what's on the way? Oh, okay, I'm getting a card. Okay, well, that's cool. Iced tea Lipton cups. Who's sending me that? Yeah, I would like. Yeah, look, people, I got one of them K-cup things. Y'all want to send me some iced tea cups? I'll love y'all a long time. Oh, yes, I will. Well, no, not for real. No, he might have some disease or something. I'm just teasing if anybody writes to me. Let's get back to the news before I get myself in trouble.
I think it's too late.
Well, you never know, For whoever sent that question, you can find us on SoundCloud or on any in our Facebook pages. We're only on one YouTube page because this show got banned off of 2 YouTube pages. Yet Mike was very bad last week. I don't know what he said, but he was very bad, so it got us in trouble. No, I don't know who got us in trouble. Actually, all they said was as we were doing medical disinformation, which we were not. If I had the extra money, I'd just sue the crap out of them over stuff like that. I mean,
I was actually a paid professional in COVID-19 surveillance programs, so the information came from that.
Yeah, but they don't care about that.
Which is the government.
They don't care about the truth. That's not something they care about.
We didn't say anything terrible.
What do you mean? Who do I want? You mean who do I want to run for president? I could go with Trump or Sanchez. I like Trump in the fact that I know I'm going to get a good economy and I'm going to get good gas prices, and I know everybody on the planet's going to calm their asses down. Putin will stop. If Trump gets in office, and see, that's what the Democrats are really scared of. If Trump gets in and all of a sudden Putin stops, he cuts a deal with Putin goes away, gas prices go down, food prices go down, wages go up. Yeah, the Democrats are going to look like they were totally lying in the last election, which they were.
You remember when Carter was in there with that Iran hostage situation?
Yeah.
And then when Reagan was running and about to get in, they released them all. They were like, oh, they waited for Reagan to get in, and that was it.
Yeah,
they were scared of Reagan, and they should have been scared of Reagan.
Well, they were, but they weren't. What was unnecessary was that they didn't give any credit to President Carter, who may not have been a great president, but he still got most of the deal for those Iran hostages approved. They just weren't going to sign it until Reagan was in office. So it was like, who really did the work? It wasn't Reagan.
Yeah, but they didn't want to take the chance.
But Carter had a botched mission. They were going to go.
According to the Iranians, they did it that way so either president wouldn't get credit, but Reagan got credit because they were him and her.
Mission. Everybody died in that mission.
Oh yeah, everybody died when them 2 helicopters went down. That was a sad.
They sent helicopters that were rigged up to fly in like a tropical jungle, not in an arid desert, so their engines failed.
Family announces death of Sopranos star 79.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, it's you know what? I'll whoever sent me that, I'll look at the polling numbers in a minute. I hadn't even been looking at them. I was looking at something else. It's polling numbers are rough right now for the Democrats. They're rough for the president. I know. I keep hearing from them, we're going to win because of abortion. I said, no, you're not. I said, you want to put money on that? I always tell my Democrat friends the same thing. You want to put money on that? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, I'll put money that you're not going to win.
The people that care the most about abortion actually live in states where it's legal. The ones who want to ban it are in the states where it's now illegal to a degree. So nobody lost anything really, if you put in those terms.
Let's see. And then I see that the the administration people in Biden's party are getting into it with Abbott in Texas and one of the other governors for taking the borders into their own hands. So the Texas governor, anybody they let into the country, he loads up in buses and sends them to Biden's home state or to D.C. Said, no, we're not taking any more in Texas. Send them on, baby. Send them on.
Beto's gaining strength against him, man, in the race for governor.
Yeah, Butterbutt ain't going nowhere. Texas will blow up before they have a gay governor. I'm pretty sure that he's gay.
He's married. He's married with children. Man.
Yeah, to a man. Yeah, he's married.
Beto?
Yeah, gay bastard. He's a gay bastard.
Can't say that, man.
I can most definitely say whatever the hell I want, man. To hell. Last I checked, I lived in the United States. I'll tell you like I tell everybody. If you don't like it, you can always flip.
That's why they're mad. Hey, Netflix released Dave Chappelle's little deal there. You know why? They need money. Netflix needs to make money.
Yeah, because after cutting Obama's and the princess, I mean not the princess, but the prince, you know how much money they lost on the Obamas and on Meghan Markle and Harry? I mean, they didn't make any money off of him.
my favorite comic, man. I think he's funny as hell. He's got great timing. He's got great material. He's not putting anybody down. He's just having fun.
Oh, he's already putting somebody down, but that's okay.
Who?
That's what comedy's about, man. Comedy's about
tearing up people. Bastard. Threatening him.
Yeah, he can call him whatever he wants. Last I checked, the country
was
free.
You didn't call him gay bastard.
Yeah, I call him that. You're who said they're offended? Let me tell you what. I have gay friends. I got gay relatives. I call them that all the time. They don't give a shit. If your little skin is that thin, you should just go crawl in a hole somewhere and give up on life.
But it's more like you're signaling them out as gay. Just call them a bastard is kind of better. You know what I mean?
Actually, they are bastard. So it's a bastard is what it is. See, people just misunderstand what I'm saying, but that's okay. I still love all of y'all. It's people. I live in New Orleans. Do you know the gay population is in New Orleans? Who said that? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
All I know is I went to the bathroom, came back, and Jay's sticking up for Jimmy Carter, and Joe's calling people gay bastards. I don't know what happened. What happened? While I was
right. It went wild, man. It went wild. It's You wish Mike would stop saying that word, gay bastard. Well, I mean, this is,
it's 2 words, gay.
Okay,
bastard.
okay. First off, do you know what we're talking about? Do y'all actually know what the gay word means? Do you know what gay means? No, it doesn't mean you're homosexual. It means you're happy and you're a bastard.
Happy.
So you're a happy bastard is what I was saying. So you see, bastard. I played you bunch of morons because you weren't paying attention. It's people, you can't just assume. When you assume, remember the thing, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. That's what assumption is. It's no, you see, you should have been paying attention because I know what the word means. I was around before it was being bastardized for what it is today. Gay means happy. So happy bastard. And there's a lot of happy bastards on the planet.
I was just talking about how cool the gay clubs are in New Orleans.
I know. See, people shouldn't assume, man. You see, y'all played y'all. Y'all got suckered. Is what happened there. Oh, they got played. But anyway, it happens, people. I've been around for a while. It's easy to play y'all rookies. I don't know who's going to be president. I'm as fickle as everybody else on this. I'm hoping we're going to see some crazy stuff and some good presidents come out of this, but I'm not assuming that we're going to get anybody good. I'm just hoping. That's all I can say. Because at this point, I'm not sure. Oh, I'm pretty sure it'll be a Republican if that's what you're asking me. But
which one? Yeah,
which one is the question? And Trump, you never know what'll happen.
He's got the history. He's got the track record. Things were good under him, and nobody can say it wasn't.
And everything they said about him in the first election turned out to be a lie.
Yep.
So that's going to be hard. He's going to let's see. Yeah. Oh, Beto O'Rourke. Hey, if Texas goes gay, hey, more power to him. Look, Texan people, I love y'all. Don't come shoot me or nothing. Okay, I'm just playing. I just playing. Don't get all upset with me. Okay?
You're close by, man. They can come get you right away.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm only a couple hours away, man. Y'all just calm down over there. You Texas people get upset easy too, man.
Jay and I, a couple days drive.
If you run over an armadillo over there,
drive.
Do you know if you run over an armadillo in Texas, you can be shot?
Do what now?
Yeah, if you run over an armadillo in Texas, you can be shot.
You run over an armadillo and they can shoot you.
Yes, that's their state. That's their state animal, man. You can't be running them over. What are you talking? You never seen the Coors commercial where the is it Coors? I think it's Coors. Anyway, it's one of the beers. The armadillo raids the beer truck. You've never seen those commercials? Oh, that's because you don't live in Texas. That's why you never seen it. It's yeah. So the armadillo is like their state animal, man. Don't screw with don't screw with the armadillo, man. Don't ask me. I don't live in Texas.
Texas has
my
weird
state.
laws. That's for sure.
Yeah, they do. Well, they got a lot. They're like Louisiana. They got a lot of blue laws. Like it's still a law in the books in Louisiana that you can take a 4-inch belt and whip your wife for an hour every Sunday.
Is there a time?
Like I don't know about a time, but it's still on the books. But they still got the that's the Napoleonic laws. We still have them. They haven't never.
How come you don't hear feminists going after that, going crazy, man?
I don't know because nobody really does it. But I mean, if somebody was doing it, it might be different.
They're on the books. I mean, there's a lot of dumb laws out there that shouldn't.
Yeah, there are. There's just a lot of dumb laws out there. It's what are you telling me about O'Rourke? What people? English. This ain't. We're not in the Ukraine.
And in Canada, they beat the men. The women beat the men. I understand.
Yeah, to keep them in cages. We know that because 3 of our hosts do it.
Yeah, they keep the guy in a cage, man.
It's to keep you. Yeah, we know you Canadian women don't lie. We got 4 y'all on the whole network. We know what y'all do. Poor Dell, he never gets out the cage.
That's why.
Thank God he got a job. He never got out the cage, man.
I don't cross that border to meet Canadian women. I stay in Niagara Falls. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
still protected by the United States, right there. That whooping stick is assault here in the U.S., man.
Yeah. Yeah, so he gave up his house seat. We're glad for O'Rourke for doing that. You know, he's just, what can you do, people? I don't know him. I don't live in Texas, and
He's an
he
extreme ultra liberal, and that's
yeah.
not the guy that's going to bode well for Texas, especially with a large border, because he thinks there should be an open border. No guns, open border. That's what he's running on.
That's not really wise.
It hurts the whole country. We all have a vested interest in that border.
Yeah, see, and that's a bad part in Texas. If he does get in and he does open borders, somebody will probably shoot him. Just what happened to the Japanese guy. That'll just be a sad thing. There's a lot of
shot with a musket.
I know. How do you get shot with a musket?
He got shot with a homemade weapon. It didn't say musket. What I could see.
No, he made his own musket. So he used black powder. He packed it and put a projectile in there. He put a ball. So he made a musket. One of them had 9 barrels, and it was like the size of a 12 gauge. Each one of them is huge. But he used pipes. And he had a system to shoot. Amazing, he got his second shot off with that kind of thing. But they found like 40 guns in his residence that he made out of wood and pipes.
Wow, that was nuts.
Pretty interesting, man.
Well, people have talked about him running for president, but I mean, last time it was pathetic.
But I mean, it was gun violence that killed the guy, and it's a place that has the strictest gun laws in the world. You're not allowed to have a gun in Japan, period. So here you go. If somebody wants to do it, they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay, what the hell? That was dumb. Let's see if it says over here.
Abe was a good man too. It's too bad, man. I think Abe was a decent sort.
Amy Sanders. What? I'm sorry. I keep getting weird stuff sent to me, people. Look, I don't know. Y'all look him up for yourself. You notice, so when you see about a crime, you hear about a crime on a thing now. If you don't hear a color or affiliation to a party, it's a Democrat that's black. You can take it to the bank.
That's true.
Yeah, you can take it to the bank because they'll say, "Oh, it was a white Republican every damn time." So that's why you notice you haven't heard it. No, sometimes it'll be white, but usually, if you don't hear the party affiliation, you can bet your ass they're a liberal. I mean, I would put money on that. That's how sure I am of it. No, it's just the same, but that's the way the media is today.
When that shooter
protecting people and they're hurting us.
The shooter in New York City in the subway, he was a black male. They didn't release the color of his skin, even though there was they were looking for him. There was a manhunt looking for him. They didn't release his description. That's crazy, right? I mean, but they're going to great lengths to protect a group of people that doesn't need protecting, because not all black people are criminals. Not all Latinos are criminals. Not all Asians or whites are criminals. But they make it sound like they are. When they do these things, and they're going to great lengths. Obama saying there was a disproportionate amount of black and Latino men in jail. Well, maybe there's a disproportionate amount of black and Latino men who are committing crime.
Actually, it wasn't Latino men, just black men.
And instead of that, instead of trying to find a solution for that, you're going to label it racism and play to that group and try to get those votes from those people. You know what I mean? But yet now.
But he even said that stuff, and I remember all that stuff during Obama's administration. I looked it up. There doesn't matter whether it was a white male or white female. White prisoners outnumbered everyone else in almost every prison system. So right. I don't see where their problem is.
But in the FBI statistics say that black people in America commit 54% of the crime. So you have to look at those numbers and ask why, and also try to find solutions and not just throw crap on it, throw dirt on it and hope it goes away. I mean, and the supporting numbers of the black community are falling. They're not in high reproductive numbers anymore. So there's like a dismantling going on. It's like an ongoing genocide, if you want to look at it that way, because this was planned a long time ago, and who's in control of these areas? They're Democrats. So you would think that they could make things work and have, look at New Orleans after Katrina hit, and they leveled those neighborhoods. They made nice homes. Joe talks about it all the time.
Yeah, because it's a different city.
And there's more racial harmony there, So, I mean, we need that everywhere. We need wherever there's those issues, you need that harmony. But you need to take the criminals out of those neighborhoods because they're victimizing people. all colors, all types of people, But now we're seeing a Latino movement, a big one in the Republican Party. I think it's very interesting. It makes sense.
Yeah, it is, and it's well because that's really the party they should be in. I mean, it's a
black
Christian
people
party.
too. Young black people don't want what's going on. They want.
They're learning as they go. Whoever asked me that, it's Amy O'Rourke. Is it? I know one of the kids' name is Ulysses. I think one's Molly. I don't know the other one, but no, always teasing because he reminds me of Butterbutt. Yeah, no, it's not the same person, but he reminds me of him. He just does.
We need to unite as people and get past the party mentality. Unite as people, and then
we just need a centralist party and screw the other two parties.
Everyone wants the same.
Let them
stuff.
serve.
You want to be safe in your home. You want to have some extra bucks in the bank. You don't want to be victimized. You want to feel, I mean, you want, there's things that we want: clean air, clean water, clean land, and all that. Yeah. That's beautiful. Not the government taking your money and look what they do with it. It's a travesty. And then they say they have no money for anything. That's crazy, man. When we give it to
they give 400 million of it to a country that's at war.
Yep.
What happened this Friday?
All the stuff with Iran, all the giving them, when Obama was in there, giving them all that money and forgiving them for all the terrible things. It's a state sponsor of terrorism, and they want to try to whitewash it and say it's not.
We got a lot of issues we got to work through in the country. This is too many things going on. But the problem is when you get with the liberals, the progressives, and they get crazy. The conservatives go so far right that it's ridiculous, and they go so far left that it's ridiculous, and everybody else is left in the middle. 70% of the country is sitting here going, really, or at least 60% is going, really. Neither one of the parties have more than 20% control, and we allow them. But we have the independents and the central, so we just need a centralist party, and you set it up so that it has the majority, about 50% of the vote, and the only way anything can get done is either if the liberals or the conservatives side with them, and that's the only way everything will get done. But that way it'll be fair. This way it's just whatever crazy shit they think about, they do. I mean, liberals have lost their mind. When I listen to AO speak and Adam and all them speak, I'm thinking, really? And you consider this okay? They should be in prison. I mean, some of these people is just ridiculous with the things they say.
There's no limit. There's no limit. There's no.
Oh no, people. Omar should be in jail. She's talked about killing Jews. No, she should be. The very least, she should have been sanctioned.
She definitely should be a representative.
Well, no. If you threaten people in the United States, you can be put in jail for it. And she's threatening, if they come in her community to have something bad happen to them. I mean, this woman is a mess. She says that she was telling the Palestinians they should do more raids. She's telling Hamas they should do more raids. I mean, she's inciting the riot. She should be in jail. But yet the Democrats don't even want to talk about it. See, the Republicans have a list. If they win enough votes, they've got a list of the people they want to go after. They want to go after Nancy. They want to go after Schuler. They want to punish everybody who punished Trump is what they want to do. And that's a big list. And if they can win the majority or get a super majority, it's over for the Democrats.
You know what kind of world it is? This is the kind of world. Here's a influencer, they're on social media showing their ass and boobs. Influencer ends up in a wheelchair from holding in her farts. That's where we're at, man. That's how crazy and stupid things are. And, that's, what? Whoever this appeals to, it's frightening. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and there's a lot of that. I mean, if you go like on CBS right now, I'm on ABC News right now. They got some good stories, and then they got a bunch of garbage stories. Stories that really no one's in. They're filler, is what they are.
Well, these are real
with
stories.
All the news in the world right now.
Yeah.
Half the news they're putting up is filler news.
Here we go. Disturbing video shows laughing teens beat elderly man to death with traffic cone in Philadelphia. There you go.
Wow, that's only like 3 hours that way.
Yeah. And it's happening every day. This stuff is going on all the time. Traffic cone, car, gun, doesn't matter. Brick, knife, people getting stabbed, whatever, man. Run over by a truck.
All I know is as long as Biden's in the White House, Russia's a threat.
We're in danger. And it's a terrible feeling. It really is. I didn't feel that.
It's not Trump. A safe time. I mean, if the wrong things line up, we could be looking at another multi-country world war.
I didn't even feel it with Obama. Like we're actually in danger from
I just felt doom under Obama
from other countries, from each other. Well, he set the stage, didn't he? Obama pushed down the first couple of dominoes, Biden is just a frail representative of that, you know. So, and it's unbelievable that it's just not even 2 years yet.
So I got a question. What happens? Because Taiwan's saying they're going to go help the Ukrainians. They're going to actually go fight with the Ukrainians. They're going to send troops and stuff.
They want to stoke
what happens if Russia attacks Taiwan? I mean, because China considers Taiwan part of their country.
I don't think Russia can attack anybody else. I think they're overbid.
I
don't know. They've been bringing out a lot of material in troops lately. They've been up in troops. They've been up in. I see they're bringing out some of their more fancy stuff, some of their newest stuff.
Now the Ukrainians are reaching into Russian territory and blowing stuff up in there, you know. So it's just going to be.
Yeah, but the Russians have taken 2 more cities today. I mean, they're making progress now where they weren't before. They've taken that whole area down there. They're actually making progress. Oh, wait, what? Oh, people. I don't care about that. LGBT community fights for freedom on frontline. Okay, everybody should be fighting for freedom. It shouldn't matter if you're gay or straight. You should just be out there trying to keep your country alive. That's just one of those ignorant stories.
Freedom as per what? You know, freedom to hurt people, freedom to I mean, what depends what freedom they're talking about.
No.
You know.
Russia claims capture of pivotal city in eastern Ukraine. That's yet another city. But they're bombing these cities into the Stone Age. I mean, they're worthless to it. Pentagon to provide medium-range air defense systems to the Ukraine. Okay, yeah, but everything we send takes so long. It takes weeks. You know, they say, oh, it'll be there tomorrow, and then like 6 weeks later, it's there. Or 4 weeks later, it's there.
Yeah. It's going to keep being stagnant. It's going to keep rolling until something comes to a head, you know.
It doesn't look like it's going to be a good conclusion at all because Putin doesn't want to come to the discussion tables.
I'm actually surprised there's not a lot more terrorism going on. I see how inside of Russia there's fires being set in warehouses, munitions warehouses, things like that.
Yeah, you're not getting much news out of Russia that they're locking down most of it.
Yeah.
They don't. They're trying to keep all this a big secret.
Out.
Yeah, no, it gets out, but not a lot of it. A lot of it's only being reported on like Pravda and state news media. They're keeping the shit tight. They don't want people knowing what's going on in their country. I mean, which I don't blame them. I mean, you know, it's just kind of sad how it is. What was that? No, last poll I seen, Biden had him at 36%. No, I think it was Quinnipiac. It was bad, man. I mean, it's bad, and they're scared right now on where this is going. You mean? No, I don't know. It's rough. I mean, they're gonna poll low for a while. Everything they've done in the last 2 years has been an absolute disaster. It's been a disaster. I mean, from Afghanistan to everything else, it's just been a disaster. The Republicans have so much cannon fodder for this election. I don't know how the Democrats can win. And Roe versus Wade is not going to be enough to turn the country.
You know what? And they don't have to overdo it either because they just have to point to what's going on and how things have been mismanaged and just not represented. That's all.
It's it's going to be rough. And Biden can't get up there and stop the bleeding. So I don't know. You know, they're just bleeding out.
Nope, he doesn't even know where he is.
So if you go,
he's very clueless as to where his whereabouts are at any one moment. It seems like he's almost a child in certain aspects. You know?
Yeah.
Who sent me the 538 poll? That's cool. So in the 538 poll, Trump's approval rating is 38.4%. Approve of him, and I'm really wondering who that 30% is. That's like all the progressives and maybe half the liberals.
Trump.
I mean,
what
Biden.
Are you
sorry.
about?
I'm talking about Biden. Sorry,
oh
about
my
Biden.
God, Joe!
Biden's at 30%. So Rasmussen,
you're hungry.
I know I am. Rasmussen has him at 37%. ISIS has him at 36%. Inside Advantage has him at 30%. Yahoo Government has him at 38%. Morning Consultant has him at 38%. I mean, he's pretty much hovering between 36 and 38. It is a record, actually.
What kind of cheese do you like on a cheeseburger?
None.
Both of you.
None.
Cheddar's fine sometimes, but American's usually what they put on there for you.
What do you think of Velveeta?
I don't want no stinking cheese, man.
That doesn't suck, you know. It melts a little weirder than like cheese slices, but yeah.
That's my trans name I'm putting on applications now. Trying to. get that white collar, high paying job. My name is Velveeta, baby.
Oh, wait, who's got Biden at 41%?
You know what? I'm claiming that I'm gender expansive. I don't even know what that. You know what? That just gives you the option, I think.
Yeah, you left the door open for a lot of different kinds of interpretations.
I could expand. I'm going to expand in my own masculinity and become more masculine. I'm going to learn how to use a hammer and stuff like that.
Reuters got him at 35%. Man, Reuters is pretty level, man.
Women love that. If you can,
what is it? Is his approval rating at 35%?
That's his approval, 35%. Yeah,
that means there's 65% people don't approve of him. So
yeah. So let's see. Right now, let's see. Here we go on the Republic. So Democrats. Where's it at? Okay, I got it backwards. Okay, so 85% Republicans disapprove, 14% approve. 69% disapprove on Democrats, 30% approve. That's on just straight out, just those two parties with no independents involved. So only 30% of his party is even considering. They're in trouble. And Roe versus Wade, people, I'm telling you, in 3 months from now, it's not going to be on most people's minds. What's going to be on their mind is how much they just spent at the grocery store, at the gas pump, as they're driving to go vote. You got to remember, people, as far as Roe goes, it's more crucial for the people in the moment. In other words, the people considering abortion are the people who are, well, no, that's a lie. They didn't take health care away from people. That's bullshit. That's something Planned Parenthood wants you to think. No, they made abortions illegal, not going to talk about how you can raise your baby or what kind of health. That's just an outright lie by the Democrats. Nobody could do that. That would be unconstitutional in the United States. Americans have gotten stupid. It's easy to go check on these things, people. You don't believe everything you read.
They're not getting any smarter either, man. That's why I think aliens are blithering idiots, because I think the technology took over. They got dumber as technology got better, and that's why they anally probe people, because they're idiots. You know what I mean?
Man.
That's
they're
the only
telepathic. They're way. No, they don't probe anybody anyway, so that'd be a waste of time.
People are getting dumber every day. Look at they using the phone to ask questions and do all the stuff.
I agree with that. I think you can look at the populace, and they've gotten with these great new tools, and it probably started with the television, which was intended to be one of the new high tech educational tools. Same with the internet, was meant to be used as a great way to share information and teach people, but it just has moronified the whole country and probably the world.
This poll says that 69% of Democrats are on Biden's side.
I'd like to holding in her farts is the telltale sign of the future.
Prime example.
And these polls are only based on 1,000 people. That's just pathetic, man. Let's see. So let's see. On the economy, he gets 33%. So that's his all over average. On crime, he gets 11%. Environment, he gets 6%. Terrorism, he gets 6%. Immigration, he gets 5%. Inequality, he gets 5%. Education, he gets 4%. Healthcare, he gets 4%. Public health, he gets 3%. War and conflict, he gets 2%. Energy issues, he gets 2%. Oh my God, people. That's a Democratic and Republicans combined. If you get outside of that, he actually gets 1% in those things in both the Democrat and Republican Party. I don't know, Joe. I don't even know what to tell you. I wish you didn't have the same name I did. It scares me. I know we got to get out of here in a few minutes, but I wanted to bring up the filibuster right quick. So let's talk about this for a minute. So what happens, Democrats, this is for you, okay? I want to be honest with y'all. What happens, and remember, y'all the ones that changed the rule to the 50 and 60 vote thing. And what happened? As soon as you did that, you lost the House and Senate, and the Republicans took over and put it to use. If you get rid of the filibuster, come November, when January comes in, they are going to punish you ruthlessly. Especially if they have a big majority, they are going to punish you ruthlessly. Think about this. You can lose your way seriously here, and they can make you look really, really, really bad, Dems. Because I can already tell you one of the things that Congress is already talking about, Republicans are already talking about giving us all $3,000 as soon as they get in. And remember, they don't have to have the president to do it. If they have a large enough vote, it doesn't matter. The president can't veto it. And even if he does veto, if it comes around the second time, it goes through anyway. So, and if Joe Biden tries to veto $3,000, he's going to go like a 5% approval rating. And the Democrats are going to go right along with him. So the Republicans have a thing here. What they're going to do with it, Mike and I have talked about this before. Are they going to piss it away like they've done in the past? Are they actually going to put it to use? That's yet to be seen. There's some better people. The Republican Party is actually quite a bit younger than the Democrat Party. I always hear about how they're this, that, and the other thing, but they're not. They're pretty fairly racial diverse now. About half of them are women now, and they're just a different party. They're a younger party. You don't see. Matter of fact, the only person that was old in the last election that ran was Trump. He won, but everybody else was 50 or under. So they had a lot of good people running. Just Trump got it. I mean, Jeb Bush was like 49 or something. Or I think he was 50. So, I mean, there were people there to get it. Cruz ran, Rand Paul did, and they were all younger. But America doesn't always feel comfortable with young presidents. Obama kind of taught us not to be. Clinton taught us to trust him. Obama taught us not to. So it's a damn thing because, Clinton was a young president. Obama was a young president, but we liked Clinton. We didn't like Obama. Democrats, you don't count. The majority doesn't like Obama. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But they're two different people.
They are.
Especially in their representation.
One was a Muslim American hater, and one was a man who loved his country. Big difference. Oh, y'all figure that out. If you can't figure out what I just said, shame on you people. Lord. I never heard Clinton go around and saying his religion was this or his religion was that, or he wants to follow in his racist, crazy father's ways. His father was insane. He was a terrorist. Oh yeah, he was definitely a terrorist. And think about who Obama's friends were. Oh, he went and made friends with who? He went to Venezuela. He went and met Raul Castro and hung out with him and went to baseball games. He went over and met some other crazy. He liked the warlords and stuff like that. That was his thing.
He talked a lot of trash about America. He put a lot of Americans down constantly. The Christians who cling to their Bible and guns and that type of thing. And, they were mad because they lost their factory jobs. Obama described it as cushy factory jobs and was mocking them. They lost their livelihood, for God's sakes. They weren't able to support their families. Here's a guy who grew up in aristocracy, really. He was wealthy. His mother, the grandmother there, she was a senator in Hawaii. He identified himself as a homosexual student from abroad. I mean, because he grew up partly in Africa, and he grew up also partly in or is that?
I wonder if Obama. Oh, sorry, God. I wonder if Obama had any stock
Indonesia.
in gun companies.
And in Indonesia, right? They have a statue for him. This is where they torture gay people. They toss them off of building tops to kill them. And he said that's where Muslims Islam comes together. That's how he said. The gentle religion of Islam comes together with democracy. And so it's a lie. It's all a lie. He's a lie.
It's a huge lie.
He's a pretty big liar. But
the birth certificate.
But, in all fairness, Trump I don't want to hate.
Trump was the one pounding on that, and they mock it like it's BS. They were never able to produce it. And then finally, a doctor there in Hawaii produced a live birth certificate, that he printed up, which isn't the same thing. So, I mean, I'm not going to beat that drum, but there was a lot of shenanigans going on with Obama and the whole thing.
Uh-oh. Security
okay, the baby's here. That means it's time to get off air. She's like, Dad, you're supposed to be in the room now. What are you doing?
Cheeseburger, man.
No, she wants Daddy to come get in the bed so she can lay down on top of him and look me in the face. You think I'm kidding people. I'm not. Baby, I mean, that's Lola, by the way. She's about 3.5 pounds. Her sister's running around here, but I'll tell you what, when I'm wearing a black shirt and she comes up here like this, shit, people are.
You see her.
Well, I'm on air one night and she was had her head laid over my shoulder and she was laying chest against me. And I don't know what happened, but there was a noise. So she turned her head and you still couldn't see it. And then she opened her eyes where you could see the whites. People freaking out. I had people right. What is that? What is that? That's a dog, people. It's a dog.
We're all animal people. Jay's got his cat.
It's a dog, right? Man. It's a dog. Yeah. Oh,
you got your dog, and I have my pet dragon. So
it's a dog, man. It's a dog. It's a Chihuahua, people. And look at it. You have a hard time seeing it even on camera. She's so black. You get a little white spot there.
Yeah, it's a tuxedo Chihuahua.
Okay, you got to get down, Lola. Go bug your sister Fiona, Princess Fiona. But we got to get out of here, guys and girls. We've been on all night. I know Jay was with. Jay's actually doing almost 4.5 hours. He was with Jeffrey before.
I was only Church of Mavis.
Who did y'all have on tonight?
Dean Gleason. He was a Bigfoot guy up in upstate New York in the Finger Lakes, Dawson Lakes area.
Oh, up Uncle Mikey.
Yeah, right across
I'm in the Finger Lakes. Well, sort of in the Finger Lakes.
Your finger in the Mike. I don't want to hear you Finger in Lakes, man. I don't want to hear anything about Finger
That's
Lakes.
St. Lawrence Valley, 1,000 Islands up there in that area.
Mm-hmm.
So, Finger Lakes and Thousand Islands.
Actually, I'm putting together a hunting party for Bigfoot. You know, I'm tired of this pansy stuff, man. You know what I mean? So if you want to catch something, you hunt it, right? I mean, where's those big game hunters? You know.
Oh, you heard? Oh, speaking of that, you seen that guy got shot in Africa, right? That big game hunter got shot in South Africa.
Well, he got
they
walked
right
shot,
up to him. Yeah, he got walked right up to him beside the highway and just killed him. Didn't take nothing.
Good
left
for them.
his guns and
they
everything.
Took one of his rifles, apparently.
No, well, they said in the beginning they didn't take anything. They left everything. They left his money, his guns.
They took a rifle, but you know what? I think that the people that live there really hate people like that.
So. Well, yeah, well, some of them do. Some of them hunt themselves, but big game hunters are useless today. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hunted a little sport when I was young. I mean, I hunted a lot to eat them, not because I needed to, because I just liked the food. But I hunted some sport when I was young. But you know what? I just don't feel like it's not a fair thing. Even though the deer or the ram or whatever could gore you, the tiger, whatever could gore you, you know, when you got a rifle, especially a good one, there ain't much you got to worry about. And over there, when they're using big game, they're using phenomenal monster caliber guns. You know, guns that will knock you down.
375 HH mag, that type of thing.
But she's back.
You know, you got elephant guns too, but they're big game rifles.
She said, "I'm back, guys." And she said, you know, this dog is famous on TikTok, by the way.
I hunt in the supermarket when I look for steaks. Cheaper than ammo.
Whoops, sorry, we're tied up
traveling to Africa and try to shoot a buffalo or something. What do they got there in Africa? Elephant. How would you want to shoot a beautiful elephant, a giraffe, or these lions? You know, they're not
or a tiger even. None of that.
They're not bothering anybody.
Oh, y'all see? I love these things, these zoos where they got the glass thing with the lion. So these two girls are sitting in this thing and they're doing like this. And I think this lion comes up. He's wanting to eat both these biatches. They thinking it's funny. I'm thinking you idiots don't have a clue. This fucking lion went you for dinner. If he could get in there, you would be munched.
The lion's like, if this invisible shield wasn't here,
you'd definitely be dinner.
I'd be eating right now.
Yeah, you'd be dinner. Guys and girls, if you have any stories or anything you want to publish, you know you can send them to us live. I had a lot of people send me stuff when we're live. And you can send it to anybody in here, or if you got things you want to hear us talk about, you can send live. Dory, is that your name? In the first show, sometimes we clown around a little bit till we get where we want to go. Well, there's a lot of news, and we'd like to feel out which stories we want to take in first. So we play around a little bit and cut up. We cut up all throughout the whole show, but it's just, you know, some stories it's hard to get a feeling where we want to go because there's so much now. You know, and then we know. I'm sorry, we didn't talk about Jan 6. We will next week. Yes, we will. There was nothing to talk about this week.
The complaint department's on the 3rd floor.
Yes. Well, the guy you're talking about, the guy who quit the girl, the girl was talking about, Hutchins was talking about last week. Yeah, he's testifying. He testified today. I heard all kind of different reports from that. He ratted Trump out till he hold his own. So we won't know until the actual media gets hold of the transcripts. But apparently it's not enough to get the DOJ involved. See, this is what this whole Jan 6 thing is about. Everybody thought it was about trying to stop the election in 2020. Well, it's going to be dead before then. This won't be going on come election time. It'll probably be over with in about 2 or 3 weeks. So it's going to be gone. So it's either Trump's going to get some kind of criminal referral. He's not. That thing in New York, no, that's not going to look like criminal stuff. He kept telling them, he gave everybody his tax returns in the beginning, and they're not being able to find anything. So yeah, he's got, you know, when you got that kind of money, you generally hire people who really know how to hide your money. So
most people out there don't care about that. They care about their own pocket and what they see going out, and they see the Democrats running things. It's dollars and cents, man. It's that simple.
It is. And that's what's going to do to Democrats, and they're too stupid to realize. They want to do it, but like when I heard Bernie Sanders and what's her name, Elizabeth Warren speaking the other day, they're acting like none of this is even going on.
I know.
They went, you know what they were talking about? When Trump and the Russia thing was. People, we done proved the Russia thing's a hoax. I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, come on.
These are propagandists who manufacture evidence against people, and they never get. I mean, no one's going to jail for the manufacturing evidence.
AOC got in trouble the other day.
No accountability for it. No,
right.
Yeah, she had something that AOC said something that the papers had to retract because it was a lie. Somebody else got in trouble. We talked about at the beginning of the show because they said something that they had to be retracted. I mean, you know, the Democrats, they got away with this because of Trump in 2020, but the country's tired of it now. Now that they found out that all of the stuff they said about Trump for the first 4 years was a lie, then the country's now, okay, look, y'all spent 4 years hating on a guy who was helping our country out. Now we're pissed about it. That's why Trump's numbers went up, because when they found out about the Russia thing, his numbers went up because
Trump gives a speech and thousands of people show up.
Yeah.
Biden was in the basement the entire time running for office, and if he went anywhere, there was just a handful of people, and they blamed it on COVID. They said, well, it's low numbers because we don't want to have people infected and that type of thing.
Yeah, that's why so many people say they don't. But that's why so many people don't believe the election results. But actually,
Pennsylvania was for Trump. I drove from one side of the state to the other right there, man, in September, October. And I'll tell you, the Trump signs were everywhere. I can't believe
they're still there.
Yeah, I believe it. I can't believe it. People made their own Trump signs. They were gung-ho about it. These weren't just political signs they shoved in the ground. They were proud to make the sign. There's something to that. Once you have that momentum, it's hard to kill it out, man.
Yeah, it's.
But will the Democrats play any shenanigans in the next election? I mean, they already.
The Republicans look like they're taking care of that ahead of time.
Well, you saw DeSantis wants to make it. They're making it a felony if you vote twice.
Yeah, and they need to.
Some of these people they caught voting over 50 times for Democrats and not showing ID, which is crazy, man.
Yeah,
I have to show ID to buy a big lighter. A big lighter, man.
Yeah, or a package of cigarettes or 6-pack of beer. You have to show your ID. Why not for voting? I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, now this is cool. So they just put up Trump's numbers by states. So he's only down in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of these states, and then we'll say these are kind of purple. We'll give those purple states over. So 16 states, all the rest of the states, he's plus 50% in. Some of them he's plus 60% in.
Wow.
I don't know, man. He's gonna be hard to beat.
It depends on the VP who he would choose to run with. I mean, that's
so even with DeSantis doing as well as he is in Florida, Trump's pulling 55%. Texas, he's pulling 52%. Mississippi's pulling 55%. Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kansas City, all them 55%. You got to get New Mexico. He's pulling 45%.
He should tap that creepy crackhead My Pillow guy to be the VP, man. He'd be like, I have these slippers. Ha ha.
See, Colorado and Nevada, he's pulling 45%. With the exception of the hard states, he's doing well.
That's going to generate that interest. I mean, and there's a lot of people that he can pull from. So, I mean, Trump is no fool. He's actually.
But you see, Trump's problem is the party wants DeSantis. He's not going to be able to get out of that. That's
the
who
party
they want.
wants who's going to win and put them back in power.
And you guarantee with Trump and DeSantis, you're going to have a fucking landslide.
Trump is a powerhouse to them.
Yeah, and so is DeSantis. So if you put them together, they're going to have an excellent thing. And then
plus he was in there, and his track record was good. He had a lot of accomplishments, and you can't.
Which he gets to tout now. And so that's the thing for the Democrats. They have to deal with that. They have to deal with that in the 2022 midterms, and they got to deal with that in the 2024 election.
There was no
all
crash
of this coming back to bite him in the ass.
There was no worldwide meltdown.
No, there was records.
War. Now
it was records. There was no wars.
Now it's a mess. Everything they said that was going to happen under Trump is happening under Biden.
Yeah, it is, and Biden's a disaster because he doesn't know. I mean, the guy's walking around. I don't even know what he's saying. But worse, I mean, I'm telling y'all need to hear that speech she gave Harris gave. I think it was that. And
I heard it when she kept saying seriously.
No, she said she would talk for 30 seconds about. And she'd say nothing, and then she'd go on and change the subject, but still say nothing. Yeah, she did like 9 times. It was jibber jabber.
She's the queen of gibberish.
Definitely. She is. But anyway, guys and girls, we got to go. We done ran over like 21 minutes now. So y'all be sure to catch Michael. He's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. You catch him on Discovery Paranormal on Tuesdays, the Red Pill News on Thursdays. All the archives are available this week, so you can go catch them out. While I'm on that,
Eastern.
Yes, while I'm on that, we are doing our archives different on the network. They don't go up same day, and they go up the next day now.
And on this next Red Pill News, I'm going to have Elon Musk's brother, sister's mother's cousin. Which is Joe Montana.
And Uncle's sister, man. Elon, man, look.
His fetus lawyer, Jay McNichols.
I've been using a friend of mine with Big O Aerospace to try to get hold of Elon. Because I can't figure out how to get hold of his blind friend. I know you got to get hold of her first. If you want to do anything with Elon, you need to get hold of her. But she's tough, man. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people always emailing her saying, I want to talk to Elon.
Get on my show.
His mom.
But I'm a send when I do big guests like that. When I look for big guests like that, I send them a copy of our ratings. Usually, I'll get them after that. They're like, "Oh yeah, well I'll come on, no problem." And because it's big enough, as long as I don't use the word UFO. But with Elon, he probably wouldn't care, but other people would definitely care. But guys and girls, we got to get out of here. So again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and the Centralist. So come see me and Jay. And Michael Jay's here with us several weeks, but sometimes he's off because he's like the rest of us, got to work for a living. And where Jeffrey spanks him, I'm not sure what's going on there.
It goes on.
And when he's not on Church of Mavis, Wham is there. I'm not going to give y'all her real name because she goes by Wham Wham. I call her Wham Wham Bam Bam. Thank you, man.
But she's have a doctorate degree.
Yeah, she does, and she's a New Yorker. So y'all can go catch her out. She's oh no. Whoever wrote that, no. Jeffrey and Wham are very liberal. That's not even a description. They're past liberal. Yeah,
that's why we don't have them on the show.
And so Jeffrey comes on every once in a while. Jeffrey will come hang out with us every once in a while. It's he might explode when he's with us, but
it's fun to see.
But one thing explode. But there's one thing about Jeffrey Pritchett. He's a big fan of Trump, man. Oh man,
I could piss anybody off in less than 20 seconds, and I take pictures of them. Man. You know how pure that art is right there. You know what I like doing? I like cruising on these side roads, like with the hillbillies, and they're like 5 or 6 of them outside their driveway, and they see me, and then I whip out a camera and I start taking pictures of them.
Yeah, see here they whip out a shotgun, kill your ass. It'd be Dead Michael is what that would be. What was that?
Oh,
you ever see the movie Easy Rider, man? Have you ever seen the movie Easy Rider?
A long time ago.
Yeah. They will shoot.
But it all went bad for them in where? New Orleans.
That's right. So especially if you're not from the South, you can be from the. Okay, let me.
If those guys rode to New York, they would have had a blast.
So this is how the South really works. This is how all the South. The South and the Heartland to us are all the same thing. For the Heartland and South, we're all together. So the only thing we worry about is the West Coast because they're all just freakos out there in the upper East Coast. That's where all the crazies live. But between those two coasts, that's almost 160 million Americans live in those two areas. There's a buttload of Americans, even though more and more are moving out and moving to places.
The majority of the hosts on UPRN are either Canadian or Northeasterners, man. So let's look at it that way.
That's because I don't like too many Southerns on here.
But I will have a Mint Julep on the next show, man. I will definitely.
Well, no, Peter, I have I don't have a Cajun accent. I got a New Orleans accent actually, but we got to go, people. We got stuff coming up. Again, thanks to everyone tuning into the Centralist Net. Don't forget, go out and vote. Okay, vote for Chasing Prophecy. Vote for UFO Undercover. Yeah,
I voted for the Centralist.
I voted.
That's right. Vote for the Centralist. Vote for UFO Undercover and vote for the Outer Realm. Michelle said she's going to put a spell in your asses if y'all don't vote for her. Yeah. For the girls.
I vote for her all the time. She's the best.
She said for the guys, you're not going to be able to get, you know what?
Amelia's my love, man.
Oh my God. We're gonna have to
I'm loving her from afar.
Yeah, we're going to have to have intervention. We're definitely going to have intervention. Anyway, guys and girls, thanks again for tuning in, and we will see y'all all next Friday. Please stay out of trouble. And remember,
y'all.
Vote.
UPRN Talk
One
Radio.
more vote.